Hello everyone! Today we're going to continue playing some Umineko, and I'm gonna go until chapter 2 is done. Yeah, I'm kind of excited. It's kind of extremely hectic, but you know, that's the fun of it. Okay, um, yeah. Yeah, let's go ahead and continue. Dab. I can't believe it. Are you saying that's the truth?
Yes. We've told you everything as we saw it.
George folded his arms and started mumbling again. And the kitchen was once again wrapped in a long silence. George-sama, I'm fully aware how hard it must be for you to believe all of that so suddenly. After all, even though I saw it with my own eyes, I grow less and less sure what it was I actually saw. I'm sure I saw it, and I'm sure I got into a fight too. And yet, I almost feel like it was an illusion. I see. So that's why you couldn't go into the details in front of Aunt Rosa. If you actually told her what you've just told me, you'd probably be in even more trouble. Yeah, Genji-san really did handle that one composedly, didn't he? If only I had the power to explain it myself. George had not actually seen it, and even when pressed to believe, he just couldn't imagine it. It was only natural, because even the people who had actually seen it had given up asking themselves what it was. Let's rewind the story a bit. Shannon, you said that when you thought Kanon-kun was an imposter, you picked up some spiderwebs and came back, right? Why did you do that? That's right, I was thinking about that as well. Why spiderwebs?
I happened to hear it from Kumasawa-san once. A long time ago, evil spirits lived on Rokenjima, and they, feared spiderwebs. And they say there's a legend that people treasured spiderwebs as amulets. And, right at that moment, I think I was also a bit confused.
When it comes to those old stories, Kumasawa was very knowledgeable. Well, spiders are very useful bugs after all. Yes, it wouldn't be at all strange for a belief system like that to come into being.
I'm sure that the Torii shrine was suppressing the power of those evil spirits. And because the spirit mirror was broken, that power came back. That power must be what allowed Beatrice-sama to revive. If I, weak-hearted as I am, hadn't done such an outrageous thing.
Shannon, you don't have to worry about that anymore. I don't blame you for it. Since long ago, Shannon had often suggested that there was some kind of occult cause for her meeting with George. After listening to her, George had grown to think that she was... I can't believe someone made a Herobrine totem and caused the events of Umineko. Hi Kepler, how's it going? Thanks for coming by. Oh god, I hope you didn't hear my chair, but you probably did. After listening to her, George had grown to think that she was being a typical girl, associating love with fate, chance, and miracles. He did think that smashing the spirit mirror offered at the Torii shrine was taking it a bit far, but he'd laughed it off and forgiven her, thinking of it as just a prank that showed how serious she was about her relationship with him. Just breaking a mirror in some musty shrine wouldn't have changed the fate of our meeting. and it would never cause any curse. He tried to cheer her up, saying it was only a musty mirror covered in dust. Ever since I started working on this island, I've heard the story of a spirit called Beatrice-sama from several co-workers. In the beginning, I thought it was ridiculous, but since it would appear indiscreet to say anything out loud, outwardly, I conducted myself as though I also believed it. But could it really...
She existed. Beatrice-sama was in this mansion all along. But she's lost her powers and wasn't able to appear before us. She did exist all this time. It's just that we couldn't see her.
I'd like to hear Genji-san's opinion. I have no opinion. All I want to say is that, at that time, there were 5 of us in this room. Then, I thought that Kanon had returned through the back door. After that, we carried him to the servant room. Something happened, and now Dr. Nanjo and Kumasawa will never come back to us. That is all. We have already explained everything we saw. I understand how unreasonable it would be to try and force belief from one who didn't witness those events, such as yourself. How could he believe it? I was sure it was Kanon-san, but it got up from the bed, and that's right. When it started to grope about that wound in its chest in that manner, I felt sure that it wasn't Kanon-san, but something else. I doubt you'll be able to understand, George-sama. The terror of that moment, when the person I thought I knew well exposed that it was, in fact, someone else entirely. I can't explain. I can't explain it at all. I understand. I can tell that whatever happened, it was terrifying enough to give you such a shock. Thank you very much, George-sama. And they all fell silent again. Shannon kept crying no matter how many times she was consoled, thinking that listening to the witch's sweet whispers and breaking the spirit mirror on that day had been the mistake that ruined everything. The witch who whispered these things to you loses her powers if that mirror exists, right?
I think she explained it to me a little, but I don't really remember. I think she said something about how she couldn't release her power as long as that mirror existed.
What happened to this mirror that you broke?
I don't remember. I left it behind when I broke it, so it's probably just how I left it.
So when, as they say, the reef was struck by lightning and disappeared, it must have sank to the bottom of the ocean. Well, I doubt picking it up and taping it together would make it start working again.
What have I done?
Sorry. I shouldn't have said that. He didn't know if Shannon breaking the mirror really had started all this off. Though the servants didn't blame Shannon, they all seemed to believe that her actions had been the root cause. But even now, George wasn't able to go that far. All this talk about witches and evil spirits just sounded fake to him, even though he was trying to be open-minded. Even so, he listened seriously to Shannon's story, trying to find a hint that might relieve at least a little of the pain in her heart. Come to think of it, though it's surely different from the one in the Torii, I have heard that Madame keeps a spirit mirror as a charm. Really? Aunt Natsuki? Yes, I believe she received it as a memento from her grandfather or something, and that it functioned as a powerful ward against magic. A spirit mirror of high pedigree, I think. I have also heard the same story. Something about the mirror having the power to reflect that which is not good and send it back. If we had that spirit mirror, could we resist Beatrice since she's a witch?
Huh?
When George proposed this, the servants looked up. The shrine in the Torii where it was kept are gone now, but the important thing is that there's still another spirit mirror. I've heard that Aunt Natsuki's family is descended from Shinto priests. Maybe that isn't just a simple mirror. I'm sure I've heard Madam say she keeps it in a treasure box. It might not be very large.
I don't think its size is a problem. Even the mirror I broke was just a small, insignificant-looking thing.
If our opponent is occult, then we'll have to use the occult to fight back. Sitting around here won't solve anything. It's worth trying, if only for some peace of mind. Of course, this didn't mean George had accepted the witch. However, he thought it'd be necessary to have some kind of purification ceremony to heal the wounds in Shannon's heart. So this story about Natsuhi's spirit mirror was really convenient. Let's go. I won't say anything crazy like, let's go get it and finish off the witch. However, I think it'd be useful to have some sort of charm that can protect us from her. Maria-chan told me about it earlier, but the door to Grandfather's room was supposed to be able to repel magic, right? That's our grandfather for you. It means he was pretty good on defense when it comes to the occult. Let's go. To Aunt Natsuhi's room. But I think Madam's room is locked. We returned the master keys to Rosa-sama, and even the key box in the servant room is now locked away. In that case, Aunt Natsuhi should have had a key on her person. Aunt Natsuhi's corpse should still be in the chapel. We probably shouldn't be disturbing it before the police come. We can give it a full explanation later. However, the entrance to the chapel is also locked. Goda-san, can't you break a single glass window with your physical strength? This face, and Goda, just break the glass window. Oh my god. Have you never broken a window before? You could smash it with a nearby rock. I love it.
Would it, really be okay to break the window of that important chapel?
When Grandfather gets mad at us, I'll take responsibility. From the beginning, I've been ready to fight the whole ChRoMA family today. I've got to get them to accept my engagement to you. So, I've been prepared from the start. Let's break the glass. Then, let's borrow the key from Aunt Natsuhi's corpse. George's announcement that he'd take responsibility seemed to have given the servants a great deal of courage. Shannon and Goda looked at each other, then looked at George's face again. Grandfather knows everything about the occult. I'm sure he'll understand if it's the power of Aunt Natsuhi's spirit mirror we're talking about. Don't worry, he won't get mad at you.
I wonder if Madam's mirror will really be able to seal Beatrice-sama once again.
I don't know, but I think it's worth trying. So let's go. It's getting darker and darker outside. Quickly. Shannon, get a flashlight. Goda-san, find something that looks like it can break the glass. Sorry, Genji, but can you be on umbrella duty? Yes, sir! The servants, who had been rejected by Rosa, gained a new master and started to move. George, who was normally calm and gentle, was now radiating dignity. Shannon checked the emergency flashlight, just in case she changed the batteries. Goda was testing several heavy-looking cooking tools. I love this squad! Normally, a highly praised chef like him wouldn't want to use them for something other than their intended purpose. But now, he was frantic to fulfill the orders of the one he accepted as his master. After some worrying, he took a large, thick-feeling frying pan. I love it. I love this. Genji removed several umbrellas from the umbrella stand set in the corner near the kitchen door. He took 3 of them. Genji-san? I cannot go with you. It would be embarrassing for me as the head servant of the ChRoMA family if we were all gone when an order is given. But Genji-san! Even you must understand how dangerous it is to be alone in this mansion now. I cannot go. I must remain here, so that the master can call for me at any time.
Genji-sama.
Go, and obey George-sama. Be careful not to make any blunders. Goda, I am counting on you to set an example. Yes, leave it to me.
I will surely fulfill my duty.
You're sure about this, right, Genji-san? Yes. I am already at this age. All the days of my life until now have been spent repaying the debt I owe the master. The roulette will decide the fate of a senile old man like myself. I will sit here and see what the result will be with my own eyes. Bro, I don't think you're senile. I think you're just old. Regular old. Anyways, as Genji said that, he sat down, as though saying that he didn't intend to discuss this anymore. His gaze fell to the chessboard that he'd played Nanjo on. When George saw this, he decided to leave Genji there. Let's go, everyone. It looks like the wind has died down a bit for now. When George took an umbrella and dashed down the hallway, Shannon and Goda chased after him, each holding a tool. After they flew out of the room, Genji quietly stretched his hand out to the side of the chessboard. He softly pulled something there towards himself, covering it with his palm. Genji killed his breathing even more than before. As he did, something flashed gold. From inside an ice pail set on the counter, a small gold butterfly appeared, softly and silently. It was almost as though it had seen George and the rest off, and was trying to secretly chase after them. It happened in an instant. The elegant gold butterfly, flapping its wings, was pinned against the wall by the knife Genji threw, just like a butterfly in a bug collection. After the gold butterfly beat its wings several times, looking like it was in pain, it accepted the fact that it couldn't break free. It became fine gold powder and smoke and disappeared as though it had melted into water. Damn! Godlike. Thanks, Genji. Oof. Okay. Genji still gazed down at the chessboard as though nothing had happened. Maybe he would think up a brilliant move very soon. But no matter what move he made, his opponent would not be able to respond for all eternity. Even though he knew that, Genji searched for a brilliant move. It must have been the perfect way to kill time during the short period before some fate would be given to him. He didn't know what result the roulette would bring about, but that decision would be made very soon. No one could interfere with the tumbling roulette ball. Oof. The door to the parlor was not only locked, but blocked with a barricade made of sofas and the like. Because of that, Aunt Rosa seemed to suspect that any suspicious person approaching would break in through the window. Sitting on a one-person sofa, her back to the door, she continued to hold onto her gun. Oh man. I didn't know what was what anymore, and even though my body and mind were worn out, I played with Maria as she wanted. Maria had said it. Beatrice was testing us to see if we could solve the epitaph of the gold, so we had to try and figure out this riddle. In the beginning, I was a little interested and tried to solve it, but I didn't even have a clue where to start in this weird text. I didn't doubt that there was some riddle hidden there, but I seriously doubted I'd be able to suddenly leap to an answer. In the middle part of the epitaph, you see lines going from the 1st to the 10th twilight, telling us to journey to the Golden Land. On the 1st twilight, offer the 6 chosen by the key as sacrifices. On the 2nd twilight, those who remain shall tear apart the 2 who are close. It was obvious that this hinted at the first 6 murders that had already occurred in the chapel, and Jessica and Kanonkun's murders. If this was being followed, we still had to be prepared for 5 more people to be killed. On the 4th twilight, gouge the head and kill. On the 5th twilight, gouge the chest and kill. On the 6th twilight, gouge the stomach and kill. On the 7th twilight, gouge the knee and kill. On the 8th twilight, gouge the leg and kill. Dr. Nanjo and Kumasawa Bachan's corpses still haven't been found. However, if this follows the pattern, and they're the sacrifices for the 4th and 5th twilights, they'll surely be found in a pitiful state with their head and chest gouged. So, can we expect that 3 more of us will be gouged in the stomach, knee, and leg and killed? Who will it be? I looked around the room, noticing that there were 3 people here, but how should I put it? My emotions seemed paralyzed. Strangely, I didn't feel frightened. As I leaned against the sofa with the top part of my body, gazing up at the ceiling, Maria noticed. Apparently, she felt I was slacking off in my riddle solving. She got mad at me for not taking this seriously enough. Hey, Maria.
Ooh?
What was it again that Beatrice said she'd do if we solved this? I'm sure the witch wrote in her letter that she'd give up on collecting interest or something abstract like that. I optimistically took that to mean she'd give up on killing the whole family. But was it really written with that meaning? For some reason, I couldn't convince myself that solving the riddle would really save me. I feel like maybe, even if we do solve it, we'll just be doing what the culprit wants, and it'll all be a wasted effort.
No, that's not true. If you solve the epitaph, Beato's ceremony will end. So after that, no more people will die.
Really? Isn't that rule just something she made up? Whoever solves this riddle will probably learn the location of Grandfather's hidden gold. Then she'll definitely go after it and...
Ooh, she won't go after it.
How can you be so sure?
The gold has been Beatrice's from the beginning. She wouldn't go after something that's hers.
Then why is Beatrice giving us all these big hints? Not just that, why does she even set up this game-like thing?
Risk is essential for magic.
Risk. I don't really know what you mean.
For example, in a marathon, do you think a medal anyone can get by running the whole thing is worth the same as the medal given only to the person who gets first?
No, I don't. So, what does it mean? In the end, she's just playing with us? Purposefully giving us a chance?
Wrong! That's how magic works. No matter how great a work of magic is, it'll always have risks and weak points. No, it must have them.
I don't get this stuff you call magic, but if I think about it as a gamble, I can understand a little. If you aren't prepared to lose big, then you can't win big. And the slimmer the chances of winning, the bigger the payoff.
That's right. And Beato really did explain the risk of the ceremony to everyone. So, if this riddle is solved, the ceremony will be suspended. After all, if she breaks her promises, there wouldn't be any risk.
If we solve this, will she really keep her promise?
Why are flowers beautiful, even though they wither? Why is it that an artificial flower isn't beautiful, no matter how elaborate it is, even when you can't tell the difference by looking? Humans can bring about miracles by gambling on their deaths. If an undying human existed, they'd have no way of bringing about a miracle. That goes for us, life, the witch, and the ceremony too. If we don't bear a risk, we can't succeed in anything.
What do we do if we solve the riddle? Should we raise a hand and cry, "I got it!" Tell the witch our answer and then see what she says?
Ooh, I don't know about that. But if we solve it, the ceremony will surely end automatically.
You sure know a lot, Maria. Did you learn all of that from Beatrice?
Ooh!
So, if you don't bear a risk, nothing can be gained. Is that it? Okay. That definitely is the way of the world. But it's sort of in conflict with the chessboard thinking I like so much. At least when making moves in chess, players grope for the best move, always trying to avoid risk and hoping for an advantageous turn of events. They don't trust to chance like in gambling. That's right, there's no room for gambling in an intellectual game. And yet, this person called Beatrice has created such an outrageous crime, or maybe a ceremony, while purposefully imposing conditions for her own loss and announcing them to us. In chess, you always play your best move, so by putting yourself in your opponent's position, you can predict their next move. However, we can't be sure that Beatrice's moves are always the best moves possible. I thought she was probably making us focus on the epitaph to fool us in some way, speaking in riddles. But, according to Maria, that alone was impossible. She said this was a genuine risk that the witch had taken, and therefore proof that this was a formal ceremony for magic. I can't understand this witch called Beatrice. If she's committing this chain of murders with some goal in mind, why did she go to all the trouble of exposing the conditions for her defeat? No matter how I spin the chessboard around and think from my opponent's perspective, I can't understand why she'd give up if this riddle is solved. Isn't it almost as though Beatrice doesn't care whether she wins or loses? Of course, chessboard reasoning won't work against an opponent like that. I don't understand. What is Beatrice after that's making her carry out this crime? If she just wanted to massacre us all, she could have done it quietly without this whole crazy setup. There is no need for that kind-hearted advance notice, all this self-aware closed room stuff, or any of the rest. It's all overacting. I've got no clue what it means. Will I be unable to understand everything, as long as I keep thinking of Beatrice as a greedy human culprit? If I don't accept her as a witch, will my chessboard thinking be stuck before I've even lined up the pieces? If she really is a witch and everything Maria said is true, then there's only one thing for us to do. The theory building and discord and searching for the culprit has all been pointless. We should have all gathered in the dining hall, combining our knowledge to solve the riddle. By combining the knowledge of that many people, we might have been able to grasp at least a thread of the answer. The greedy humans, each desiring to gain something over their opponents, were getting offered up as sacrifices one by one, without gathering their knowledge together. In the end, did the humans get what they deserved? They thought they were using their brains, but they were actually thinking only of their greedy selves. In the end, chessboard thinking is a thinking technique where you project yourself on your opponent. So greedy people see their greedy selves inside their opponents. I looked lazily at Aunt Rosa. Yeah, it's literally the second time he's like, wait, why am I thinking of her as like, what if her next move is not supposed to be the best move? Like, huh. It's really funny. Anyways. She was probably tired from being all this tension the whole time. She couldn't sleep, but she kept staring vaguely at some point off in space. Aunt Rosa had announced that we couldn't trust anyone who hadn't been killed. Aunt Rosa's chessboard thinking saw herself inside her opponent. In other words, maybe Aunt Rosa was an isolated woman, unable to trust anyone and unable to let her guard down. Long ago, I think I heard a bit about it from my dad. Aunt Rosa was originally a very obedient child, but her age was far too separated from the other siblings, and they often made conflicting demands of her during their confrontations. Thanks to this, she had undergone a lot of psychologically harsh experiences in her youth. Often, when she copied one of her siblings, another sibling would give her a hard time. True, Aunt Rosa said many things today that could be taken as abusive. They were. But that means those words were once showered upon her, which is why they were engraved in her vocabulary. The many abusive words that she'd spoken were also words that she'd been showered with in the past. She hits Maria because her dad hit her, and this is why you can't spank children. Now that I think about it, I've picked up traces of Uncle Kraus and Aunt Ava in her style of speech from time to time. I assumed they were similar because they were siblings, but maybe it's more than that. For the first time, I truly sympathized with Aunt Rosa, who I'd once thought was warm and gentle all the time. And what about Maria? Maria's been making a certain claim for a while now. If we can solve the riddle the witch displayed to us, the ceremony will be halted and will definitely be saved. I think she's also said that Beatrice will never break a promise. But this is Maria we're talking about. She herself never breaks promises, and she has the most innocent heart. So she believes Beatrice also won't break her promises. She's able to believe that. But isn't that just an image of Beatrice in Maria's mind? There's no proof that the real Beatrice always keeps her promises, right? I keep my promises. If you solve the riddle of the epitaph, you should be able to reach the Golden Land. When you do, the ceremony will end. No more people will die. So you're saying a complete monster like you follows the rules. I won't deny that I am brutal and unjust and a monster. However, I am a witch. I use magic. In order to use magic, there are some rules that must be followed. Because I am a witch, I cannot neglect those. You should believe at least that much. So even after all the crazy stuff you've done, you're still telling me to believe at least in the rules? I do play tricks. Of course, I also deceive people. I'm no different from humans in that regard. But not once have I disregarded a promise I've spoken. What about humans? Do you always keep your promises? Since we have phrases like, keep your promises, it's hard to imagine that we always follow them properly. From my perspective, humans are the truly selfish monsters. There's nothing as dubious as a human's promise. Even I sometimes make contracts with humans, but you wouldn't imagine how strict an agreement must be made just to grant a single foolish wish. If there's even a small loophole, they'll immediately say something like, increase the number of wishes to 100, or go turn yourself into a bean. There's this thing Dad always says. He says there's nothing as scary as contracts. According to him, it's only natural that people who sign without reading them thoroughly will get chewed to the bone. He's made a killing through vice. Imagine it. When people are born, they know nothing of fraud. They get it from somewhere. And so they learn it. Yes, the crimes of the human world, where people must press up against each other. Let me see. I've heard that from a witch somewhere. Oh well. I'm not as heartless as you think, you see. Liar! You killed so many people! And you did it in such horrible ways too! How could you not be heartless? You say you keep your promises? Don't say stuff like that. I won't accept you. Ever. I believe my only way to resist you is never giving up on that. I see. So you're saying this eternal torture will be the same for me? Perhaps. 1,000 years is a long time. Maybe a witch's true strength is decided not by their magical power, but by the strength of their endurance. Yes, I can accept how terrifying Lady Bunn is. Damn you babbling on and on about this incomprehensible stuff. Let's quickly get back to this eternal torture. I'm prepared to stick around for 1,000 years or even 10,000 years. Good, good. It looks like you've regained some of your will to fight. It would be boring otherwise. Come now, don't you often see it in competitive games? Sometimes one player intrudes on their opponent's territory, but the opponent is so weak that it's a bit of an anticlimax, so the first player loses on purpose to extend the game until the last round. during which they get serious and shower their opponent with blows, right? I don't get what that means. It's the same as wine. If you don't let it age well, it won't sparkle. You're the same as that wine. I'll carefully make you age. I'll raise you to be the best alcohol to adorn my elegant time. So don't give up after only this much. Keep on denying me. After all, as long as you don't accept me, I'm nothing more than a fleeting illusion. God. Beato cackles for 7,000 years. Ah, glass breaking sounds. No matter how many times I see it, it's awful. I truly sympathize. Shannon-san, please get the key. Even though she is dead, Madam is a lady. I cannot touch her.
Of course.
Shannon nodded sharply, her expression filled with a sense of duty. George, Goda, and Shannon had broken a suitable window and were inside the chapel. Since they really hadn't wanted to break one, they'd search for another way in, just in case. But in the end, after proving once again that there was nowhere they could slip in through, it only became more obvious that this chapel was a mysterious closed room. Inside the chapel, time had stopped ever since the last time they'd left it. Even George wasn't able to approach that gruesome Halloween party again. It was only natural. It reminded him again of the sadness of losing both parents at once. And Goda, thinking of the possibility that those corpses might have changed in some horrible way now that half a day had passed, didn't want to let George get near them. Shannon followed Goda's instructions and approached the party table. Normally, Shannon might have resented having another dirty job forced on her, but now she could truly understand Goda's mental state. Even though Goda had prodigious skill, he'd gotten dragged into trouble, losing his job and ending up left out in the streets before Natsuhi gave him a new life. Aw, it's so sad. Though it had been just a casual employment decision for Natsuhi, Goda must have thought it a turning point in his fate. Those around Goda could see that he felt a special kind of loyalty to Natsuhi. So he probably didn't want to lose that feeling, even after her death. Now that half a day had passed, the bodies of Natsuhi and the rest had changed completely. Small bugs sniffing out the smell of death had started to gather. It really wasn't something you'd want to look at directly.
Madam, excuse me.
Hey, where'd the bugs come from? Quick question, where'd the bugs come from? Don't worry about it! Oh, in this completely sealed room, bugs got in? Damn. I guess, yeah, bugs get in no matter what. Like an air duct or something? But that would mean there's another way in, if bugs can get in. Anyways. Because of her long experience as a servant, Shannon had an idea of which pocket Natsuhi kept the key to her room in. It would probably be this pocket. Her guess didn't fail her. Just by touching the outside of the pocket, she was immediately able to feel it.
It's here. The key to Madam's room.
Shannon held the key up high, showing the others that it had been found. As George and Goda watched her, their eyes opened wide. That wasn't the expression Shannon was expecting, so it startled her. Oh, fuck, shit! After all, Shannon hadn't noticed. George and Goda, watching from afar, noticed it first. When Shannon had held the key up high, a blizzard of gold leaf had seeped up from around the table. They were countless gold butterflies. It was the first time George had seen them, so it might have looked like some kind of illusion. But Goda already knew. He knew that those gold butterflies were far from beautiful, and that they would bring about some kind of misfortune. And that gold swelled, trying to suck Shannon in. Shannon-san! Run!
Huh? Yeah!
Shannon also realized that gold butterflies were trying to swallow her up. She ran unsteadily, her expression still shocked. As she did, the gold butterflies danced around her all at once. They grouped together. They tried to swallow her up. Shannon! Damn it, what is this? Are these the gold butterflies you guys were talking about? Outside, quickly! You bastards! Damn it, damn it! George and Goda rushed up to Shannon, driving off the cloud of butterflies. And while the butterflies were scattered, they ran towards the broken window. However, they needed a good footing to get out of the window, which was surrounded by shards of broken glass. When they'd entered, there had been enough time to prepare for that. But now there was none. Let's go out through the door! There's no time to look for footing. It won't open. It's stuck. Give it to me. Damn this piece of crap. Ugh. George-sama, quickly. Damn it, don't take me lightly. Whoa! Goda took off his jacket, swinging it around and scattering the group of butterflies. But saying he was outnumbered would be a real understatement. It was doubtful that it even brought them a short amount of time. George struggled with the broken handle. Its age showed, and it didn't turn well. And they can't leave it to strength. It needs the right angle, or there's some trick to it. George-sama! Damn it! You monsters! At that moment, Goda saw it. He was seen by it. In other words, their eyes met. On top of the party table, no, with the stained glass behind it, floating, laughing, was the figure of the witch. He saw the figure of the laughing witch in the center of the golden whirlwind, with the gold butterflies fluttering about at the ready. Beatrice! It should have been Goda's first meeting with her, but he knew her at a glance. Just like the other servants had said, this was certainly the witch of the portrait herself. It's almost time for dinner, is it not? I am the host of this mansion now, so I must give you a warm reception before your wonderful dinner. And look, we even have 3 people fit to order. My, how truly, truly convenient. Ah! It's open!
Goda-san, quickly! Beatrice-sama!
Huh? Are you sure it's a good idea to just stand there? If you think this place will make a fitting cemetery for yourselves, then be my guests. I must praise your spirit for wanting to stay by your former master's sides and serve them even after death. The golden whirlwind that wrapped around the witch burst. It was like an evil hand had literally spread its fingers and was trying to attack them. The cloud of gold butterflies attacked with a fluttering sound. Hurry! We can't stay here! George's voice brought Shannon and Goda back to their senses. Standing here now would make them like frogs getting stared down by a snake. They had to resist. They had to fight this incarnation of the new, brutal, and frightening order in which Rokkenjima had been enveloped. Oh god. Oh god. There was no time to take out their umbrellas. The 3 of them dashed out into the pouring rain. The 3 of them never realized because they didn't turn around, but the gold butterflies apparently couldn't handle the rain too well, and this hampered their ability to chase after the humans. The 3 people ran from their golden pursuers and flew into the mansion. Oh fuck. How nice, how nice! It wouldn't be as fun any other way! Oh god. Oh god, run, run! They unlocked the door and dashed into the room. A bit of the scent from Natsuhi's favorite gentle incense remained in there. However, there was no time to let that calm them now. Where is it? You said it was in a treasure box, right? It's just a story I heard. I never heard exactly where it was.
I think it'll probably be in her dresser next to the bed.
Shannon's womanly sensibilities led her to conclude that. But next to the bed, there was only an incense burner, a half-read novel, and glasses. Natsuki has a headache because she's not wearing her fucking glasses. No. However, the dresser was elegant and had many drawers, and it would be understandable if she kept some of her valuables there. Natsuki, sorry! He began to violently open each one of the drawers. He had to hurry. He couldn't actually hear footsteps, but he had the feeling that the witch was approaching. He had the feeling that her laugh was approaching. He emptied the drawers one by one and examined their contents. Every small box for makeup looked like a treasure box, and the amount of effort it would take to inspect all of them made him feel a little dizzy.
Maybe it's this box. It's locked and I can't open it.
At a glance, it looked slightly larger than a music box. When shaken, it rustled as though various small objects were inside. But it was locked and didn't open.
Normally you'd hide the key somewhere nearby, though some people would always carry it on their person. I don't know.
There's no choice. Break it. But we can't do it with force, right? We might break the mirror inside. Could there be a tool to pry it open? Damn it. Goda looked all over the room, trying to see if there was some tool that they could use. And he noticed the door, which had been left open ever since they'd entered. He approached the door to close it, and saw the abominable shadows of people approaching from beyond the darkness in the hall. No, it wasn't shadows of people. Because they weren't human at all. George-sama! Hurry! Goda's voice trailed off. It was the shock of seeing a procession of those not of this world. He was a servant, so he knew all the servants working for the Ushiramiya family. But he didn't know about these. However, they were definitely servants, and not servants working for Ushiramiya Kinzo or Ushiramiya Kraus. Oh god. Oh god. These new servants, who worked for the new master of the mansion, the Golden Witch Beatrice, had goat heads and bright red boiled eyes of lava. And they've got knives. As the new master laughed loudly and trimly directed 6 of the new servants, he saw them approach, piercing the darkness as they came. Of course, she was clad in the gold butterflies that were her symbol. Goda hurriedly closed the door and locked it. However, just as he locked it, it returned to normal, just as though a spring or something had knocked it back. It gave the illusion that some prankster beyond the door was unlocking it every time he locked it. The sound effect, though. They couldn't have reached the other side of the door yet. So who was doing it and how? It almost felt like playing with a broken toy. Click, boing. Click, boing. Ah! It won't lock! Even if I lock it, it unlocks! What's going on? Damn it, damn it, damn it! Did you think a lock would stop me? Did you think the door to that room could hold back that room's new master? It was like the witch could see Goda's frantic effort through the door. Even now, the footsteps continued to approach. And when not just their footsteps, but even their breath could be heard, Goda gave up on the lock and slammed into the door, locking it using his own large body. George-sama, quickly, quickly, quickly!
George-sama, what about this?
A letter opener? That's better, let me have it. The fountain pen isn't working. George took it and once again dug into the crack under the lid of the treasure box. It looks like it's working. Quickly, quickly! Ah! The pressure from across the door grew even stronger. Goda screamed. It wasn't a war cry during a test of strength. He was terrified. He was simply terrified that nothing but a single wooden door was stopping him from touching something not of this world. But he was still lucky. He wasn't touching the things directly, because they were on the other side of the door. So, if he were to touch them directly, Goda's cry would surely turn from something brave into a pathetic, piercing scream, and therefore, one that was more real. Goda couldn't believe what was happening right before his eyes. Coming through the door, an arm was slipping straight through the wood like it was water, as though doing this was the most natural thing in the world. And it rubbed the back of Goda's hand as he frantically tried to hold the door shut. It slid up his arm, to his chest, and then up to his chin. By now, Goda's scream wasn't even audible anymore. He could hear a sweet whispering voice from across the door. It wasn't coming from the witch, but it sounded like a young woman. However, that didn't change the fact that it came from someone not of this world.
So cute. Hey, you see it, right? Your life flashing before your eyes? Let me know when it's over, Kay. Thanks. It's over already, isn't it?
Oh, fuck. Oh, Goda! That lewd arm burst. I don't know if that would make sense as a sentence. Then, they heard the sound of something jumping across the room at an incredible speed. They didn't know what it was. Incredibly fast, small like steel, or maybe a beetle. When it buried itself right in the center of Goda's chest and stopped, they realized for the first time that its true form was something like a stake with a strange design on it. Goda's large body shook, bent backwards, and fell over. As it did, the door opened softly, even though no one was pushing it, welcoming in the new master of this room. It looked almost as though the door itself had accepted her. Oh no! Oh shit. Hey, okay, hold on. Well, sorry, Goda. Sorry, Goda. Let's look at the tips real quick. Well, he seems to be chest, so... The goat attendants came in one after another, 6 of them. Then that witch came in, and the gold butterflies came in. The room was wrapped in a blizzard of gold leaf, which fell and piled up, turning it more and more into a world of gold. Shannon, the roulette has chosen you and George. Thank me for your day of release. Do you have any regrets? You don't, do you? Receiving an engagement ring from the man you fell for, and then being killed before spending your first night together? That hardly counts as a regret at all, right? You wanted him to hold you, didn't you? You wanted him to teach you a woman's joy, right? Ah, no, Shannon, you're dribbling, see? Your regret is dripping down from your mouth. I can see it dribbling down your mouth, Shannon. What a bitch. It was the sound of the lid to the treasure box breaking open. When George turned it over, accessories, charms, various small objects that Natsuki had treasured when she was a girl fell out. Mixed in with that was a pouch that stood out from the rest. He picked it up and was immediately sure. This was it. I found it! This is it! So close and yet so far! Die! Damn it! Hello, Hikaru. Yeah, Beatrice is a fucking bitch. All at once, the gold butterflies attacked George, who was hurriedly trying to remove the contents of the pouch. Oh! At that time, a bright red flash seemed to light up the room for an instant. That red flash seemed to cut a hole in the cloud of gold butterflies raging around the room, drawing a circle with Shannon at the center. So the resulting scene looked truly divine, almost as though a single streak of light had cut through the clouds in this world of gold. George, who was curled in a ball, trying to protect himself from the group of butterflies, didn't have a clue what was going on. Then he noticed that Shannon was standing guard in front of him, shielding him, as she glared at the witch and the rest with a serious face she'd never shown him before. I'd forgotten. You're another sample of Kinzo's outstanding furniture, and you've matured much more than Kanon.
How could you do that to Kanon-kun? I don't mean killing him. How could you erase his remains and even try to disgrace his honor?
Come now, Shannon. Is that why you're mad? If you're lonely because Kanon hasn't been around, just let me know and I'll let you see him whenever you like. When the witch snapped her fingers, one of the 6 goat attendants glittered gold and changed into Kanon. God, what a bitch, what a bitch, what a bitch. Oh my god, what a bitch. 1 second. It was definitely a sight to make one doubt their eyes. It was definitely Kanon's face. However, in those eyes, the glint of Kanon's integrity was nowhere to be seen. They were the hazy eyes of furniture that only obeyed the orders of the witch. George couldn't understand the scene right before his eyes, and he finally understood why Goda and the rest had been unable to talk about what they'd seen in the servant room.
Are you enjoying this?
Yes, I am! It's always fun to reunite a pair that have been torn apart by death. After all, I get to enjoy tearing them apart by death, reuniting them, and then tearing them apart again! So, Kanon, go and play with your sister. If she knocks you about, let her see you suffer with all the anguish you can manage. God. Cruelty. Cruelty. From the imposter Kanon's arm, a strangely shining curve extended. He planned to tear Shannon apart with that. With a single stroke, he would attack Shannon, who still hadn't prepared her heart, and...
I won't forgive you. I'll never forgive you for dishonoring the dead not just once, but twice.
Enough babbling! Go get killed by your brother, Shannon! I'm sure you'll bear witness to a wonderful dream! The imposter Kanon certainly seemed to lunge at Shannon, drawing several purple curves. But when he flew at her, it was as though some kind of invisible wall had been placed in front of her. The wall repelled the imposter, leaving a bright red ripple on its surface. No, it didn't repel him, it smashed him. It knocked him back, turning him into golden dust, into little bits, scattering him. That foolish furniture, who had taken Kanon's form and even disgraced his honor after death, broke into countless gold butterflies. And then those butterflies themselves broke into pieces, and those pieces were broken into pieces, until they were no longer butterflies, but a golden splash that faded away. Shannon.
George-san, please don't move from that spot. I don't want to shift the central axis.
God, that look on her face. Just, what? No.
Well, this certainly is a surprise. So though your face makes it look as though you wouldn't hurt a fly, you can display such power? I see, so that spirit mirror is lending you strength. But you don't have the tools or the time to draw out its true power. I won't let you have either of those. The spirit mirror George gripped had let out a divine glow, displaying a strength powerful enough not to submit to wicked forces. But that glow was no match for the witch's sinister nature. This is why furniture can be frightening. That feeling like unexpectedly stubbing your little toe on the corner of a cabinet. Yes, this is why furniture can be frightening. You furniture! I am not furniture, and right now you seem very pitiful to me.
What? Huh. What did this furniture, who hasn't lived even 100 years, just say to a 1,000-year-old witch?
You're a very pitiful person. Of course, two people in love will have regrets when they're separated. But they'll feel none of the kind of regret you're hoping for.
You dare to speak, furniture? Have you forgotten the days when you were so desperate to be tied to George that you licked my shoes?
Living with love and crawling through the muck is what humans do. If you sneer and look down on them for that, then you're far inferior to them. Especially now, I pity you. How precious is it for a loving couple when they bring their love to fruition by sleeping together on their first night? It does have meaning, it definitely does. But it's completely different from what you're saying. It means something so sacred that one such as you has no right to speak of it wickedly. So I no longer have any regrets. George-san and I swore our love to each other. As proof, I accepted his ring. With that, our eternal vows were completed. No matter how you torture us with your wicked magic and your malice, you cannot disgrace eternity.
Damn. Ooh, that's a good face right there. Don't speak in cheap ideals like some poet. Love is lust, totally meaningless unless you're sleeping together. Men are mere flies and maggots that get drawn to your female scent and crowd around you. Do you still not understand that at your age? You'll despair the very first time you witness the dark lusts of that glasses man behind you. You'll be crushed, shocked, dumbfounded, stupefied, and it's all useless, Shannon! God. Yeah, that's enough talk out of you, you furniture. Who the hell do you think you are, talking like that? No matter how beautiful you try to make love sound, in the end, it's a fraud, because love is filthy filth. Don't people become adults when they realize that? Die, you trash furniture scrap! I'll turn you into a filthy maggot, and then we'll see whether that glasses guy still loves you. I'll show you that this guy only had his eyes on your flesh. Die, you piece of crap! Don't you tell me about love! Damn, Beatrice said, "Don't talk, shut up, I'm not owned! The invisible column of light with Shannon at the center. When a bot is obliterated. Both of us just get out. Die forever. Anyways, that bot is super dead. The invisible column of light with Shannon at the center started to have bright red ripples drawn all over it at once. The wall did its best to withstand the unseeable malice as the Oh, that's just stream elements, lmao. Don't get killed, stream elements. Be good. The wall did its best to withstand the unseeable malice that tried to corrode in on them from all directions. What? You actually think you're resisting? You're insignificant, you're frail, just like your cheap ideals. Just a frail pretense. You're just hiding what you don't want to see by covering it with a veil. Do you still not understand? That's why you furniture. See, it's being erased. Crack, crunch, smash, snap. How thin, how shameful. I couldn't. Please, go back. Go back. Okay. Hello? They said, no, you don't get to read that. That was a cutscene. Incredible. That's really unfortunate. The golden windstorm that covered the room gradually began to shave the walls off the column that protected Shannon and George. The bright red ripples frantically drew a resisting pattern, but that just turned it into a red wall of despair that began to wrap the two of them up. I don't know how to say that, so I was like really taken off guard. Parmigiano would be easier to cut than your fucking barrier, you stupid hoe. That's what Beatrice said, I guess. The bright red ripples. Oh, right, yeah. Oof.
George-san, I'm sorry. It was too much for me, after all.
Yeah, thank you. You fought for my sake. That alone makes me happy. Oof. Ooh, that's a lot. The round wall that had once protected them was assaulted and covered with a curve of bright red ripples as it seemed to scream. And it began to suck the two of them up instead. Dude, my god, stop! I wish I had something prepared for the strobing effect, but I don't. I'm sorry.
George-san, can I ask a favor?
Shannon grasped George's hand behind her, so George hugged her shoulders just as strongly. What is it?
In the end, please let me hear you say I love you.
Yeah. Sayo, I will forever... My god! Okay. Cruelty. God. This is fucked up. Hey, Genji's still alive. Look at that. After Genji finished his late meal, he went out to do the nighttime rounds inside the mansion. He'd eaten some reheated soup that Goda had made, along with some random leftovers from the refrigerator. Those were all things Goda had made himself, and were, of course, delicious. He had half-heartedly gone to ask Rosa and the others what they would do for dinner, but he'd been yelled at but he'd been yelled at by a voice telling him that the canned food they had would be enough, and the door wasn't even opened for him. So, ironically, the servant Genji was able to eat a more delicious meal. But why was it that Genji wasn't afraid to do the rounds all by himself, even though all of those crimes had been committed and many people had already met a brutal end? Judging by his appearance as he carried out his usual tasks without a trace of fear, as though everything was normal, you might think all of the horrible events that day had been no more than a dream or an illusion. Oh, posture check? Okay, this is a dangerous posture check. I want you to know that. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Cool. I don't think we have a disaster on our hands. So, anyways, don't worry about it. Oh no. Essentially, yes. In essence, yeah, that's correct. Hi, Zuri. How's it going? How's it going, Zuri? 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 How's it going? I started to feel myself not be able to say those words anymore. It's going good, 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 it's going good. When you just start skipping like a CD. Raunchy. So where we at? Well, here's where we're at. Oh, okay, they're not gonna tell us anything. Okay. Well, here's Beatrice. She's a bitch. But the scene we just finished, like, the Golden Pitch, the scene that we, just finished, we watched, yeah, basically, we watched Goda, Shannon, and George just get fucking brutally owned. So, that's not great. Oh, yeah. Kumasawa had her throat cut open. It's not great. And the same happened to Nanjo. Yeah, it's, unfortunate. Sad face. Aww. But here's who's alive so far. So, Kinzo has not died yet. That we know of. Beatrice is here still. I'm not dead yet. Genji's still kicking. He is in his room. Oh, yeah, from the last arc, he super died. But like, we're in a new arc, so he's not dead yet. And we don't know anything about him. Schrodinger's Kinzo. Rose is alive and well and here. Yeah, that's episode 2 for you. If you type in !plot 1. Yeah, they are repeating timelines. Except things are different each time. This is so sad. Oh, and Kanon's nothing and everything. Oh, no. They are not sequential. Oh yeah, these 6 right here, they had their stomachs exploded and filled with candy. Kind of really gross. Kind of absolutely nasty. Anyways. Oh, yeah, it's, and filled with hamburger. No, just candy. But yeah, so each arc is different. You learn a little bit more, but yeah. I just can't. That's worse somehow. Yeah, it was decorated like a Halloween party. In the chapel. Pretty bad. Okay. Judging by his appearance as he carried out his usual tasks without a trace of fear, as though everything was normal, you might think all of the horrible events that did. Aw, hello! Thank you, Ironics, for the raid! So how was your stream? How's it going? Damn, I feel that immensely. I rolled like last week for Eula, and I only I only got what was it? Who is she? Oh god, how do you say her name? I think it's like Xinyan? The one with the guitar? That's the only one I got when I rolled. Which is like, that's not like the worst thing that's ever happened to me. But it's definitely not good rolls. Yeah, I'm glad you made some progress with your art. Oof. No. You're 1 away from C6. I got 1. C0, 1 of her. I think the highest constellation rank I have of any character is like 2. I want to say 2 is the max. I do not play Genshin enough for this. Anyways, I will continue reading some Umineko. For plot synopsis, for the first arc, you can but you can type exclamation point, plot, 1, the number 1. And for just an overview of, oh fun, see Azuri. For a general overview of Umineko, you can type, oof, that was my thingy. You can type, exclamation point, Umineko. Yeah. Those are the basics. I forget to tell people about them. Anyways. Was he taking a philosophic view, or had he just accepted his fate? Genji must have considered it a virtue. Yeah, maybe I should put him in the stream title. Genji must have considered it a virtue that when the fate that awaited him was unavoidable, he carry out his duties systematically until the last moment. The depths of his heart would probably remain hidden for all eternity, unless he spoke of them himself. This is this is the mansion one. Yeah. You're on Rokinjima, and it's Murder Island. Everyone is killed. And then everyone's not killed. And it just keeps happening. It's not great. It's kind of painful. Anyways. the depths of his heart would probably remain hidden for all eternity, unless he spoke of them himself. He had returned his master key to Rosa, so the places he could reach were extremely limited. All he could do was walk around the hallways, checking to make sure all of the windows were closed. That probably made his rounds go a lot faster than usual. At the sound of a reserved knock, Aunt Rosa, who had been falling into a doze, jumped and woke up, pointing the barrel of the gun at the door she held. "Who is it?" I was napping on a sofa, and that voice also brought me back to reality. "Rosa-sama, it is I, Genji." "Do you have some business?" "Don't worry about opening the door. Tell us from there." Yes, ma'am. In that case, forgive me for speaking in this fashion. I have found Dr. Nanjo and Kumasawa's corpses." What did you say?" "I see. Very well, let's go and check them. Until I see the corpses, I won't believe anyone."
Ooh, it's okay, Battler. If you stay with me, it'll definitely be okay.
Maybe my face seemed to be darkened with anxiety. Maria grasped my hand with her small hand and spoke softly, trying to give me courage. Since it was Aunt Rosa's job to ready the gun and stand guard, it fell to me to remove the barricade of sofas. When I finished, I took a backwards glance at Aunt Rosa, who was pointing the barrel of the gun over my shoulder, and opened the door. "Genji-san, where are their corpses?" "In the courtyard. I shall guide you."
Battler-kun, wait. Just in case, let's check the doors and windows of this room. Wait a second.
Aunt Rosa called me to a halt to prevent me from going on ahead, and began to carefully check the locks on each of the windows. But those locks had already been checked once. It felt kind of unpleasant, as though she suspected that I might have secretly unlocked them when she wasn't looking. No, maybe Aunt Rosa was right to be this cautious. Though it was called a courtyard, it wasn't really a pretty place you could take a walk in, like the Rose Garden. On the contrary, since it was surrounded by the mansion on all sides, it made you feel a little uncomfortable, as though it was telling you that there would be no escape from this mansion no matter where you tried to run. So Umineko, there's a couple of versions. I'm playing the one that's on Steam. It's just, like, the easiest one for me to get access to. But, like, there's also one for the PlayStation 3, and they have voice acting in that. Ooh. But I feel like that would be unbelievably boring. Like, even if they gave good performances, what am I doing here? Watching a movie? My god, that's just a watch-along. I want to read. Oh yeah, let's see. So, there's like this art, which is the original art, and the new art looks like shit, so I don't bother. The old art is just better. It's just objectively better. This looks like shit. This is good. This is the good art. Anywho. On the other hand, that meant that even though we could still hear the violent winds, the wind itself was blocked. Genji-san held out an umbrella, but Aunt Rosa ignored him. She was probably hinting that the gun took 2 hands, and it would be dangerous if she took the umbrella. Yeah, you can switch back and forth. You can also switch it between English and Japanese, which is kind of extremely neat. We didn't need Genji-san pointing for us to notice. Right in the center of the courtyard, we could see where Dr. Nanjo and Kumasawa-san lay. Aunt Rosa entered the courtyard without even opening an umbrella. So Genji and I also entered the courtyard without opening one. Only Maria opened hers. Maria, is this... you know what?
Ooh, it's the 7th and 8th twilights.
I see. Certainly, just as Genji-san and the others said, there are horrible wounds on their necks. The cuts are quite sharp, almost as though they were sliced with a katana or something. Those gaping wounds on their necks definitely made me want to avert my eyes, but after seeing that Halloween party in the chapel, even though they looked horrible, they were no longer enough to make me feel sick. More importantly, our gazes fell to their legs, to Dr. Nanjo's knee, to Kumasawa-san's ankle. Hey. His corpse, which had gone missing, was later found in the courtyard. At that time, it had a weapon shaped like a stake rammed into his knee. With this, the 7th twilight is finished. Her corpse, which had gone missing, was later found in the courtyard. At that time, it had a weapon shaped like a stake rammed into its ankle. With this, even the 8th twilight is finished. No, this is, that's basically where we, are at the moment. I like this, that it kind of went out of order. Oh, you can't see my, like, my cursor. But, yeah, we're on the 8th twilight now. Wow. That's not good. Anywho. Driven into each of them was something like a knife or a stake with a demonic design. They must have been the same as the thing that had pierced Jessica's back. What is this? It's just like what happened to Jessica-chan. Is this supposed to be some kind of occult ceremony, I wonder? I do not know. The last time I saw their bodies, there was nothing like these. Maybe it was done after they were carried out of the servant room. The one stuck into Dr. Nanjo's knee was still standing erect, but the one that had been thrust into Kumasawa-san's ankle might have been a little shallower. It had come out and fallen over. So, by looking at the one that had fallen over, for the first time, I realized that it wasn't a knife, but something like a stake. Its full length was probably about 30 centimeters. It was probably made out of bronze or iron or something of the sort. Even without touching it, I could tell it had some weight to it. It was composed of a grip and a cone-shaped part, and it was obviously made to be a piercing weapon. Maybe it was like a miniature version of those lances Western knights used on horseback. The spiral-shaped ditches in it made it also look like a small drill. However, the grip had an occult design modeled off of a demon or something. So instead of a weapon used in war, it felt like something that would be used in a ceremony to offer up living sacrifices. There's no mistake. They're meant to be sacrifices.
On the 7th twilight, gouge the knee and kill. On the 8th twilight, gouge the leg and kill.
Wait a sec. That means they've left out the 4th, 5th, and 6th twilights. Could it be... Of course. Why is Genji-san alone? If something like this has happened, why aren't George, Aniki, Goda-san, and Shannon-chan here? Why was Genji-san alone?
What's going on? Where did George-kun and the other two go?
They said they wanted to search for something in Madame Natsuhi's room, and they left. They have not returned yet.
What did you say? You say they left, but when was that?
2 or 3 hours ago, I believe.
No way! Why didn't you tell us something wait, no, why didn't you think that was suspicious?
There must be at least one servant on standby at all times. It was my duty to wait for orders until they returned. Oops. Was Genji-san really this much of a robot? This is bad, it's really bad. Dr. Nanjo and Kumasawa-san were killed like this, which means that 3 people have already been killed. We ran towards Aunt Natsuhi's room, with a touch of anxiety and just as much resignation. Before we even saw the inside of Aunt Natsuhi's room, we were forced to resign ourselves to a certain fact. On that door was a bizarre scribble. No, filth. Anyway, the room wasn't in an ordinary state, and without even opening the door, we could imagine what we'd find inside. On the face of the door, how should I say it? Handprints, done heavily with the same red paint as the magic circles from before, had banged on the door, scratched at it, dirtied it. It looked like the aftermath of a kindergartner playing in the mud. I didn't know what it could mean. The bright red paint that had been slathered on was dripping down, and even though no one said it, it made us think of blood.
Genji-san, please open it.
Aunt Rosa held her gun up high and ordered Genji-san to open the door. Genji-san approached it without seeming particularly troubled by that stuff on it, and turned the knob, but immediately turned around, shaking his head. It was locked. At that moment, there was only one person in this mansion who could lock and unlock doors at will, Aunt Rosa. This time, Genji-san asked Aunt Rosa to unlock the door, instead of the other way around. After frowning slightly for a second, Aunt Rosa handed me a master key and told me to open the door.
Battler-kun, would you open it for me with this?
Just trusting Genji-san with something like that wouldn't... Aunt Rosa glared at me intensely. Are you serious? Getting into a fight here would only make the mood turn even more sour. Without talking back anymore, I approached that creepy door and tried the knob. It didn't open. It was definitely the resistance of the lock. I stuck the master key into the keyhole. Plunk. There is a slight resistance. Aunt Rosa told me to be on my guard, and I opened the door without really guarding myself in any way. And then there was a scene laid out before us that didn't betray my expectations at all.
Horrible.
As I thought, it's a reproduction of the 4th, 5th, and 6th Twilights.
Ooh.
The inside of the room looked as though a robber had just broken in. Drawers had been flung open, pulled out, and had their contents thrown about all over the place, leaving the room so cluttered you'd never believe it belonged to the methodical Aunt Natsuhi. But the very first thing that caught our eyes was Goda-san's corpse, lying face down right in front of the door. Right in the center of his chest, almost as though it had been stuck there to finish off a vampire, was one of those demon stakes from before. Exactly how far could it have reached after being stuck that deeply into his chest? Just imagining it would make anyone's chest hurt. Wasn't gouging the chest the 5th Twilight?
Ooh.
Maria grabbed my hand. Her expression looked just like normal. But maybe she really was afraid of the aura in this room where 3 corpses lay. And, along the wall farthest into the room, George Aniki lay dead. This time, one of those stakes had been rammed right into the center of his stomach. Wasn't gouging the stomach the 6th Twilight? Shanan-chan's corpse was face down in front of the dresser, lying in a sea of blood. Had she seen her own face at the end, in that horribly broken mirror stained with blood? because she was lying that way. I couldn't see her face, but I could guess even without seeing it. Nearby in the sea of blood she lay in, a demon stake had fallen. Only the fourth twilight was left. Gouge the head and kill. Maybe my heart was totally worn out and dead. Even though I knew it was wrong, I lifted her head and checked, and I confirmed that my guess had been right on the mark. There was a gaping hole in Shanon-chan's head, and the insides were dripping out. Not only that, but you could even see inside her. After seeing that, I finally realized I was doing something wrong. I immediately averted my eyes, but by now it was probably pointless. Well, you've got confirmation now. Okay. George died in Natsuhi's room, with his stomach pierced by a weapon shaped like a stake. At the sixth twilight, gouge the stomach and kill. It was possible that they would have ended up as the second twilight. Shanon died in Natsuhi's room, with her forehead pierced by a weapon shaped like a stake. At the fourth twilight, gouge the head and kill. She spent her last moments with her beloved. Oh. Oh. Same idea. Oh. Goda died in Natsuhi's room, with his chest pierced by a weapon shaped like a stake. At the fifth twilight, gouge the chest and kill. The cook was cooked. How fucked is that? So mean. Anyways.
Hey, Battler-kun! You mustn't touch anything until the police come! What do you think you're doing, touching it? What will you do if our precious evidence on the scene gets disturbed?
Aunt Rosa got violently mad at me and even tugged at the back of my collar. Ugh. I tottered limply and fell on my butt, gazing dimly up at the ceiling. Maria.
Who?
With this, even the eighth twilight is over. What was the ninth twilight again?
On the ninth twilight, the witch shall revive, and none shall be left alive.
I see. After this, the Golden Witch Beatrice will be revived. What then? On the final 10th twilight?
On the 10th twilight, at Journey's End, you shall attain to the power of the Golden Land's treasures, once and for the last time. Very soon, the door to the Golden Land will be opened. Very soon.
The witch shall be revived, and none shall be left alive, huh? We're gonna die now? Or does this mean the ceremony of sacrifices is over, and that now, at Journey's End, we'll reach the Golden Land? What is our journey? We've spent the whole day trying to find the culprit, spinning our heads as we tried to break out of the situation, and we haven't gotten anywhere. It's like they say, thinking stupid is no better than sleeping. Thinking stupid is no better than sleeping. Shit. Oh, it's pitiful face I have too. That's right, we've spent the whole day burning ourselves up with hatred and paranoia. We were so sure we could only trust the dead, that we came all the way out here just to confirm these 3 deaths with our own eyes. If we're like this, why should we be able to make it to the Golden Land? That's right, if we couldn't resolve any of our problems anyway, it would have been so much better if we'd locked ourselves up the whole time without thinking at all. Grandfather's the wisest of us. He's been shut up in his room since yesterday, without any contact with anyone. That was the right decision. Grandfather was the most correct of us all. Okay.
It's okay, Battler. If you're with me, you'll be okay. The witch is very fickle, and she's a terrifying being who might kill humans partly for fun sometimes. However, if you're with me, you'll be okay. so don't be afraid.
Thank you. Even if you're just saying it to console me, I'm glad. After Aunt Rosa finished investigating their corpses, she announced that she'd seal this room again, chased the rest of us out, stole back the master key she'd lent me, and locked the door again. Apparently, George Aniki had been holding the key to Aunt Natsuki's room. She also collected that. Wait a sec. She's got all of the master keys on her person. If Natsuki's own key was locked up inside this room, doesn't that make it another closed room? So what, is this the fourth closed room? Now that the suspicion surrounding those three had been cleared, we returned to the parlor once more. I don't have a clue what's going on anymore. If only the dead are innocent, and everyone alive is a wolf, that leaves only me, Aunt Rosa, Maria, and Genji-san. And besides us, there's only Grandfather and that 19th person, the guest we've seen no trace of, Beatrice. 13 people have died, and 6 are left. How would a wolves and sheep puzzle with only 6 people end? Even though a puzzle that started with 19 people has been reduced to 6, I can't think of an answer. We returned to the parlor. I was a bit worried that, while we were gone, a creepy magic circle or something might have been drawn on the parlor door, but thankfully we didn't find anything like that.
Thank you, Genji-san. This is far enough. Please rest for the day.
Certainly. Then, please excuse me.
Hey, Aunt Rosa! Are you saying you'll leave Genji-san all alone in a situation like this? That's right. I do think it's quite dangerous. But in that case, why is he safe? After those 3 headed to Natsuhi Ne-san's room, he was alone the whole time, and yet he's safe. It's a wolves and sheep puzzle. Why would a sheep be safe if it was all alone, and therefore in its weakest possible position?
Probably because, by coincidence, there weren't any wolves around.
Wrong. It's because it wasn't a sheep.
Are you saying Genji-san's a wolf?
He said he was alone in the kitchen, but that's impossible to prove. The only ones who could have carried Dr. Nanjo and Kumasawa-san's corpses, who could have killed George and the rest, were him and Beatrice, right?
Wait, with that argument, anyone... Battler-sama, thank you for your concern. I believe trust is won not with 100 excuses, but with simple faithfulness. Even if I am not able to gain your trust, I wish to be faithful until the end.
Genji-san. Then we're decided. If you truly are innocent, the police will prove that for us when they come tomorrow. So until then, we cannot remove you from suspicion. After your long years of service, I find it truly painful to treat you so poorly. But please, understand about tonight. And when tomorrow comes, please let us make up again.
Genji-san gave his head a small shake. Today and tomorrow, I will continue to be a servant of the Ushiramiya family. If you need anything, please say so at any time. Then, if you will excuse me.
After hearing all that, there was nothing left to say. Genji-san bowed deeply and left down the hall.
God. What the fuck? I'm okay, though.
Then we entered the room. Even though Aunt Rosa still held all of the master keys to herself, she thoroughly checked the inside of the parlor again. She opened up the curtains and checked again to make sure the windows were locked. As I watched, how should I say it? I felt like it didn't really matter anymore. If I said anything careless, it would turn into another fight. For a while, I gazed at her from the corridor, figured I'd waited just about long enough, and entered the parlor behind her. If she doesn't trust anyone but the dead,
Why doesn't she just go around killing everyone with the gun she's got in her hand? And then, in the end, she'll realize that she herself is the wolf. Then she can just blast through the head of the final wolf and close the curtain on this insane murder drama. The fuck? That? As I thought that bitterly, I returned to the sofa where I'd been encamped before, rudely resting both of my feet on the table. When I tried to do that, I found something there and stopped moving my feet. What is this? Right there, almost as though it had been addressed to me, was a Western envelope. It was that envelope from before, with the seal of the one-winged eagle. And it was unopened. Wait. What is this? Who put it in a place like this and when? Until I went with everyone to check the corpses, I was sitting here the whole time. And there wasn't anything there then. And when I returned, it was here.
It's okay. Everything's still locked.
No, that's too high. It's Rosa.
It's okay. Everything's still locked up securely. This room is safe.
I heard Rosa muttering that. Wait. We made sure this room was safe when we left it. We checked that the windows were all perfectly locked. Then, we locked it up, came back, and the windows were still locked. Then, wait, who put this letter here and how? I opened the letter. 2 pieces of stationery came out. The first page had a magic circle drawn on it with something like blood. If I asked Maria, she'd probably know what it meant. And there was writing on the other page. Have you made progress in solving the epitaph? In just a short while, your time will be up in a flash. The 9th twilight will begin quite soon. There was no mistake. It was a letter from Beatrice.
Ooh? Battler? What is that?
When we came here just now, it was sitting right here.
What happened, Maria?
Huh? Battler-kun, that letter? Wait, it was sitting right here. Why? Even though we checked to make sure this room was locked. Why?
Maria, come here.
Aunt Rosa closed her eyes just a little, and after thinking silently for a moment, told Maria to come. Maria obeyed her mother's words. As she did, something unbelievable happened. Aunt Rosa pointed the barrel of that gun at me.
Battler-kun, I've concluded that you are a wolf.
Why?
When I came into the room just now, I saw that there was nothing at all on the table. And I know that Maria did not approach that table. We're talking about a short stretch of time, but the only one who claims to have approached the table and found the letter is you. How can you... Wait, that's all screwed up. Why would I put something like this here? Wait, I just found something suspicious and reported it, right? Why are you suspecting me? Why am I sus? Because only you could have set that letter there. That's right, this is all a charade. You pulled an envelope from your pocket and then acted as though you just found it. To create the illusion that the witch entered a closed room, set down a letter, and left. Dumbass, are you thinking like that again? Are you going to suspect me because of something like that? Cut it out! My dad and everyone else were killed. Why would I take part in the culprit's scheme? True. Even if you were offered a large sum of money, I don't want to believe in the existence of the sort of demon who could sell out their own parents. Then again, maybe such a demon does exist. No, that's a bad way to say it. What if you didn't view Rudolph Nissan and Kirie-san as your parents? What? Think about what you're saying. Dad is dad, right? Of course I'm not related to Kirie-san by blood, but she's like a big sister to me. No way in hell I'd let a comment like that slide, you bastard! Ooh! Stop it! Ooh!
Stop saying ooh!
I'm sorry, that was a bad way to put it. True, Ushiramiya Battler-kun may be Rudolph Nissan's child. But are you really that Battler-kun?
What the hell are you talking about? If I'm not Battler, who else do I look like?
All of us, including Rudolph Nissan, are seeing you for the first time in 6 years. No one can prove that you really are Ushiramiya Battler, right? Maybe you aren't Battler, but someone who snuck in, making a skillful bid to steal the wealth of the Ushiramiya family. Can you clearly prove that you're Ushiramiya Battler? Right here, right now?
Cut it out, damn it! I'm me! Ushiramiya Battler! If we're gonna suspect even the things like that, are you really Ushiramiya Rosa? I'm myself, no one else! Yeah, that's right, it's just as you say. You can't trust anyone but corpses and yourself. If you're gonna go that far, let me make an objection. George Aniki and the others were found dead, and Aunt Atsuhi's room was locked. George Aniki had the key to that room, right? And by now, the only one with a master key is you, Aunt Rosa, right? Aren't you the only one who could have unlocked that room? My theory goes like this. You're in contact with the real culprit, and while I wasn't looking, you lent them one of the 5 master keys.
I didn't do something like that. See, there are 5 of them here, right?
As if that matters. You could have had them set in a prearranged spot and collected it, right? And weren't you the one who doubted whether there were really 5 master keys?
So, how do you suggest that someone other than yourself placed that letter there? Until you find proof someone else did it, you're a wolf.
Shut up! Then why don't you show me some proof? How do you claim the culprit killed George Aniki and the rest in that closed room? How did they lock it? God. That's exactly right. Natsuhi's room was exactly the same, just like usual. The door and windows were locked from the inside. There were no frauds or tricks, no means of secret passage, nor places in which to hide. Natsuhi's own key was in George's pocket, and the inside of the room was sealed off. Only the 5 master keys were left, and Rosa was holding all of them. And let me say this, the parlor's the same. The key to the parlor itself is sealed away in the servant room, so unlocking it without a master key is impossible. The definition of a closed room remains the same as always. Come on, now there's only one suspect. Or are you still playing innocent, Ushiramiya Battler? Shut up! You shut up too! Oh, this is so sad.
You're the one who should shut up. How do you claim the letter was placed here by anyone other than you? Unless you can prove such a thing happened, you're a wolf.
If we can suspect me, then we can suspect you too, so try showing me some proof yourself. And anyway, weren't you the first person to enter this room and start checking the windows, Aunt Rosa? Then you guessed that I'd go back to where I'd been sitting and secretly put the letter there. It's possible for us to suspect that this is a trap of yours, right?
Why would I use a trap like that? If I was a wolf, I'd shoot you with this gun without question.
That proves nothing. Maybe you chose the roundabout way of setting a clever trap because you couldn't commit murder in front of Maria. All the master keys are in your hands. So what happened, both here and in the last room? Was all you're doing, right? If you think you can talk your way out of this, then let's hear your excuses. That's right, you've been suspicious from the start, Aunt Rosa. Why is it that even though 6 adults in the family conference were killed, you were the only exception? Why were you the only one not in that chapel? There can only be one reason. You invited Dad and the rest there and killed them. Damn it, that explains everything, doesn't it? Don't fuck with me! Stop saying things that don't make sense! Oof.
Ooh! Stop it! You mustn't fight! Mama too! Battler too! Stop it! It's no one's fault! It's not Battler's or Mama's fault! The witch did all of this! It was done with magic! It's no one's fault! Ooh!
Maria thrust herself in between Aunt Rosa and me as blood started rising to our heads. I was taken aback by Maria's crying voice and returned to my senses. I had acted shamefully just now. My eyes filled with tears. That's right. Did he? Right? Like, what did he do? Literally nothing. This is more appropriate. That's right. It's all the witch's fault, isn't it? All this about keys and tricks and alibis, all of it was stupid. Even though it's the work of the witch, we weren't even able to trust each other as humans. Right, Aunt Rosa? From the beginning, there wasn't a human culprit. It was all the work of the witch. So there's no way you're the culprit, and there's no way Maria or Genji-san or I am either. Why has it come to this? Why am I screaming at Aunt Rosa, who I loved? Why am I having this fight with the kind aunt that I loved so much? Why? Why does everyone have to suspect each other? I'm not gonna suspect my aunt. I'm not gonna suspect anyone. It's all the work of the witch. It's all the work of Beatrice. It's all a crime that Beatrice committed with magic. Beatrice, please, show yourself here and confess to us that you did everything. I'm sorry already. I'm sorry we've been suspecting each other like this. So forgive us. Release us. Release us from this hell of suspecting each other until we see each other die. Give me my kind relatives and cousins back. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it all. You definitely exist. It's your victory. Show yourself. Oh, Beatrice. Beatrice. Sounding just like your grandpappy there. Am I still alive? Apparently, some time ago, Kinzo had fallen into a doze. He searched for his spectacles and looked at the clock. It was 10 p.m. That person's ceremony. Let's see, how far has it progressed? It must have come quite far by this time. Kinzo lifted his heavy body from the chair and approached the portrait of the witch that he gazed at every day. Beatrice, very soon I will have a chance to be reunited with your smile. I care not if I die. If I can see your smile just one more time, I will not regret this life. So, for heaven's sake, let me meet with you one more time. Then, let me swear my love to you. Let me apologize for my crimes. Oh. But I won't let you escape. You are mine. From your hair to your toenails, to the dirt under your toenails, you are mine. Every fragment of your flesh is mine. Even the broth of your corpse is mine. I won't let you escape. This time you won't slip from my hands. I'll make you mine for all eternity. I will never let you escape a second time. I will never let you escape a second time. Kinzo howled in rage, then suddenly fell to his knees as he shook and scraped at the wall. In an instant, he had started sobbing. That's wrong. I didn't want to say something like this, Beatrice. Please, let me see you one more time. Even if you only let me apologize. Beatrice. You are beloved, yearned for. I was mistaken. If you would just smile, I wouldn't need anything else. I made a mistake back then. I did something that cannot be taken back. In atonement, I offer all that remains of my life. In order to apologize to you, in order to atone for my crimes, I offered everything. Please, even if it must happen as I die, At least let me apologize. Just once. Beatrice. As Kinzo shook and cried, a butterfly appeared out of nowhere behind his small back, like a flake of gold leaf, and softly descended. You fool, Kinzo. Did you think any woman out there would fall for a man's tears? Well, even if it wouldn't make a human woman fall for you, it might do the trick for a woman who is not human. Kinzo, do you remember that game of chess you played with me, which is still ongoing? Kinzo, as though he had suddenly remembered something, approached the chess set. It was as it had been during the game he'd played with Nanjo until yesterday. After knocking all of the pieces off the chessboard, he began to line them up again, one by one. It was a setup for an ongoing game. That's right, like this. I advanced my queen. That was quite a spectacular move. Perhaps it was a little too intense for you. I worried whether you'd abandon your piece or not. Worried for so long. Kinzo waited, with the opposite seat empty. Surely, very soon, his opponent would appear there, and he would be able to restart this game again. You fool, Kinzo. You want to apologize? You want to see my face again? You want to make my smile an eternal thing? Why can't you say a much, much simpler word, even though that is the sole element of this world? At that time, Kinzo muttered. Was it a prayer? An entreaty? It was probably best to just call it muttering. I love you, Beatrice. They were pure words, like something an innocent child would say, without any evil intent. You really are a fool, Kinzo. If you ever have the chance to do your life over again, know that those words will never cause a woman to fall for you. That's right, not unless a miracle happens. That's what makes this. At that moment, Kinzo definitely heard a small knock, one with a tempo that differed from those of the servants. Who is it? The woman beyond the door didn't answer. I'm asking who you are! Will you not answer? The woman beyond the door didn't answer. Could it be... Oh, could it be... Beatrice? Beatrice! Beatrice! The woman beyond the door answered. On the 9th twilight, the witch shall revive, and none shall be left alive. Oh? Battler's figure was in the dining hall. He didn't feel like going back to the guest house in the middle of all this rain, and wandered half-heartedly around the mansion in search for any place where he could sit, before setting up camp in the dining hall. He didn't even lock the door. He thought the shapeless murderer, or maybe the Golden Witch, might come to kill him now that he was isolated, but he no longer had any desire to resist. He didn't even feel like using a locked door to hold off the culprit. He wanted that person to come at him openly from the front. If it was the killer, he wanted to ask them about some of those wonderful closed room tricks as a parting gift. It was the witch. He'd hoped she'd at least take his life with some spectacular magic. However, ironically, neither of these two came came to meet him. Battler opened the liquor cabinet on his own and enjoyed the liquor to his heart's content. No longer was there anyone to scold him for drinking alcohol. He boldly rested his legs on the extravagant tablecloth and savored the high-quality liquor, which probably had a mind-boggling price, drinking it down straight from the bottle. Then, someone knocked. Battler realized that someone had finally come to greet him. "Hey, it's not locked. Whoever you are, please come in. And go ahead and introduce yourself. If you're human, please give me your name. If you're Beatrice, please tell me your bust size. I may not look it, but I'm well known as a breast sommelier, you see." "It is Genji, Battler-sama." "Hey Genji, what's your bust size?" "Genji-san, huh? Sorry, but I've got no interest in your bust size. Please, come in, it's unlocked." "Excuse me." Genji-san opened the door and bowed. So is Genji-san the criminal after all? Or maybe an accomplice? That theory would probably explain most of the tricks. "Did you come to give me my last rites?" "Nothing of the sort. I apologize if I am disturbing you." Hey, saying I'm sorry without even telling me what you want is actually pretty creepy. What do you want? Are you gonna tell me that drinking alcohol is forbidden for minors? I'll just die anyway. Please, let me do what I want, now that it's all about to end. Battler-sama, do you love alcohol so much that you would spend the little time you have left drinking? Those words pierced me. That wasn't true. I just can't cope if I don't drink. I can't even taste the alcohol at all. You are just like the Master. Indeed, you inherited the Master's blood strongly. You mean grandfather, the heavy drinker, was drinking to drown his sorrows the whole time? First I've heard of it. After several sad incidents, the Master's life was reduced to one of atonement alone. What is it you know? Beatrice's ceremony was completed when the 8th twilight ended. I believe I can tell you everything now. What did you say? My drunkenness was completely blown away. I lowered my feet from the table and listened carefully to hear what Genji would say next. Battler-sama, I shall guide you to the Master's study. It would probably be the best to hear it directly from both the Master and... from both grandfather and... Hey, what in the world do you mean by that? Come, this way. I shall guide you, Battler-sama. After Genji-san told me to follow him, he started to walk down the corridor. I threw my drunkenness off completely and went after him. We climbed a big staircase towards the 3rd floor. Oh man. Genji-san stopped walking halfway. He then turned back and spoke. Battler-sama, from here on, you will probably see things you will not be able to understand. Don't think that'll scare me. I've already seen enough incomprehensible things today to make me sick. Please, accept what you see as you see it. And accept what you hear as you hear it. Why? What? There is no need for questions like that. You will learn the truth, and that is all. I will leave it I will leave it completely up to you, Battler-sama, whether to accept it, believe it, or deny it. Genji-san checked one last time to see whether I was prepared to know the truth. The 8th twilight had already ended, and on the 9th twilight, the witch would revive and nobody would be left alive. It meant that Beatrice had already been revived. And it probably also meant that none of us would be allowed to return alive. If I was going to lose my life anyway, I wanted to know the truth in the end. It didn't matter how hard it might be to accept. Yeah, even if a demon or a witch shows up, I'm prepared. Indeed, you are just like the master in his youth. Battler-sama, please be diligent in your studies. In the future, you will surely have great aspirations, and when that time comes, see to it that you are never forced to regret a lack of study and training. I'd be happy to, assuming I ever get a chance to work hard in my studies. Genji-san's silence felt like it was further confirming a certain resigned feeling I had. And then, the door to grandfather's study, surrounded by a sweet smell, came into sight. Genji-san took a gold key with an elegant design out from his pocket. The master keys had been confiscated by Aunt Rosa, but he'd kept the key to this study alone on his person. He put it in the keyhole, and it made a heavy clunking sound. Master, it is I, Genji. I have brought Battler-sama with me. There was no reply, but it seemed that permission to go inside had been given. Come, Battler-sama. Please, go in. Okay. I'll go in. I readied myself and threw the door open. At that moment, I got slightly disoriented by the dazzling golden glow. It was, unbelievably, a swarm of butterflies that shone gold. The gold butterflies that completely filled the inside of the study poured out all at once. What is this? It was almost like golden leaf confetti. The interior of Grandfather's study was filled with a golden glow. And, on a sofa like a reception chair in front of the study desk, I could see Grandfather's back. There was someone on the side opposite from Grandfather. It was in shadow, so I couldn't see it well. Master, I've brought Battler-sama. Battler, isn't it? I'm busy thinking now. Be silent for a while. Kinzo declared that unhappily, his back still turned. It seemed he was enjoying a chess game with the visitor. Apparently, the opponent had counterattacked with a superb move. Kinzo seemed to be enjoying himself as he thought deeply, while occasionally laughing and groaning. I have thought for 30 years. I have thought for 30 years about how to counter this move. Have fun. Have fun with the move I have fermented for 30 years. Indeed, this is a deeply matured move. What fun, what fun! I see I'm no match for you. What is this? So you came, Battler. I've been waiting for a while. Be silent for Kinzo's sake. Isn't it too early to resign, Kinzo? I could have countered that move in several ways already. It should have been my first meeting with that witch. However, I knew this witch. Even though it was our first meeting, I knew her from the portrait. Genji, serve some alcohol for Battler. What would be an appropriate liquor for this man? That which the master has loved since the days of his youth. Good, good, serve it. You did well coming here, Ushirmia Battler. First, sit down. You called my name many times, did you not? In deference to that, I allowed you to meet me. So, what will you ask me? What will you inquire? The door of the Golden Land will soon be opened. Soon we will have a banquet to celebrate my revival, at which I will be welcoming in the witches. In the meantime, I'll answer your questions, as many as you like. I've got a bunch of things I want to ask. What happened on this island? And why did incidents like these occur? I want to ask about the closed rooms, too. What about the chapel? What about Jessica's room? And the servant room? And Aunt Natsuhi's room? And the parlor? There's so much more I want to ask. About the witch's true nature? Is Beatrice really a witch? What's your goal? What do you want to make us do? And why did you call me here? Answer me about everything. Ah, be quiet. You think you'll get answers if you ask? Don't say that, Kinzo. A fragile and fleeting spider web did offer protection from King Herod. Oh, Herod. Once. Just like there are no useless things in this world, there are also no useless questions. Very well, I'll answer all your questions. But only on one condition. What is it? If you hear everything and are able to accept my existence, then you will kneel and kiss my shoes. I called you here because I wanted to make you surrender to me. Kinzo and I made a bet. We bet on which would come first. Kinzo thinking of a new move, or me making you surrender. I don't think I'll lose. Damn you, talking so tough. Yeah, alright. Try and convince me. Try and convince me that you're a witch who can use weird, awesome, powerful magic. If I surrender, I'll kiss you or do anything else. The witch cackled gloatingly. Then she glared at him unpleasantly with eyes that said a man can't go back on his word. Well said! So from what question shall I begin? I'll answer everything. Come, what will the first one be? Damn. Aw, shit. Aw, shit. Then the witch started to tell everything. She began answering all of Battler's questions. Everything made sense. He was convinced by all of it. And then, Battler had no choice but to admit it. The witch certainly did exist. What followed is a story that needs no retelling. When the king falls and you are defeated, it's time to start reflecting on your finished game. And then, all you can do is set the pieces up one more time. Second game, Turn of the Golden Witch result. Kraus died on the first twilight. Natsuhi, first twilight. Ava, Hideyoshi. Rudolph. Kirie. Jessica died on the second twilight, pierced through the back of stake of Asmodeus. Hanan died on the second twilight, pierced through the chest by stake of Satan. Shannon died on the fourth twilight, forehead gouged by the stake of Mammon. Loda, fifth twilight, stake of Beelzebub in the chest. George, sixth twilight, stomach gouged by Lucifer. Nanjo died on the seventh twilight, knee gouged by Belphegor. Kumasawa, eighth twilight, leg gouged by Leviathan. Beatrice, revived on the ninth twilight, she finally opens the door to the Golden Land. Kinzo, missing on the 10th twilight. Rosa, missing on the 10th twilight. The witch did not invite this woman who denied the witch's existence to the Golden Land. Maria, missing on the 10th twilight. She acknowledged witch. Genji, missing. Acknowledged witch. Battler, missing on the 10 Twilight, will you acknowledge the witch's existence and be invited to the Golden Land? The witch shall praise the wise and bestow 4 treasures. Yeah. If their desire had been Kinzo chose the person he had loved and lost. Maria chose the lost love of her mother. Genji chose a peaceful sleep. Sleep peacefully, Beatrice. Let nothing disturb your slumber ever again. The winner is the Golden Witch Beatrice, because time ran out before any of the 18 could solve the riddle of the gold. All 18 died. When the seagulls cried, none were left alive. Woof. I feel like that one was less bad than the first one. The first one was... This one was like, oh, well, yeah. Beatrice just beat you. You just lost. Oh?
Where are you, Beatrice? Show yourself! Beatrice?
Rosa being in charge did make it all worse. Significantly worse. Rosa finally arrived at the chapel. She pointed her gun around her, screaming the witch's name, but there is no way she would receive an answer. After grimacing slightly, she noisily approached the table where her siblings' corpses still lay exposed, and stretched out her arm towards a gold ingot. It was very heavy, but Rosa didn't mind. She wrapped that one up in a blanket and threw it over her shoulder. At least, just this one. This alone should be worth over 10 million. Without letting go of her gun, Rosa picked up the gold as well. Her shoulders were screaming, but Rosa didn't mind.
It will happen very soon. Very soon, the door to the Golden Land will open.
Stop laughing with that creepy voice. Where is Beatrice? Yeah, I know she's around here. Somewhere, right? You know where, right? Where is she?
I don't know. Even if you don't search for her, you'll be able to see her in the Golden Land.
Ouch! Stop laughing like that! Ugh, it almost makes me want to laugh. That's right, that was definitely a witch. Definitely a witch. I didn't understand. I thought she was a human calling herself a witch, but I was wrong. That really was a witch. I won't be fooled by something like that. You're there, right? Come out. Show yourself. Beatrice?
I told you she'll appear very soon. The door to the Golden Land will be opened.
That's right. Isn't that splendid? I care not, I abandon that rook. You, woman, are a king that cannot be reached without the resolve to lose everything one has. I'll corner you, Beatrice. At least call me a queen. What a brilliant move. So your blood, no, though ChRoMA blood is bad at giving up. How pleasant. What a truly elegant night. Master, Beatrice-sama, it will soon be time for the banquet. Already? That was fast. Every night I pass with you goes by swiftly. The moon falls like an apple, and the sun leaps out of the river like a small fish. It is time, so let us go. Rise, battler. The banquet to celebrate my revival will now begin. I'll introduce you as my new furniture. No, as my toy. To the dignitaries among witches. The witch was relaxing elegantly, her feet thrown out from the sofa and resting on top of a footrest. However, the footrest wasn't part of the sofa. but a human. A human down on all fours. Beatrice-sama, your silk dress. You are the guest of honor, but I am the host. I will go out first. It would have been nice if Shannon were here to help dress you, but unfortunately it seems she no longer remains. She's never around when I want to use her. An entirely useless person. However, you did well to remain here. I'm happy, my friend. I am grateful for your words. Good. Wait downstairs, you two. Genji, good work. Set the dress down over there. Certainly. Well then, master. We will go first. Beatrice, I will see you later. Indeed. Kinzo and Genji left the study. After that, the witch and the dress and the furniture remained. Do you know why I'm not embarrassed to show myself to you naked? It's because you're furniture. Furniture. Understand? Furniture, just furniture. Who would feel shame at exposing their body to furniture? So there's no reason for me to feel shame in front of you. The witch rose and her jacket slipped off, just from her shoulders. After that, the jacket fell to the ground with a thump. When the furniture respectfully approached to pick up those clothes, the witch gave it a small kick, and it fell over. The furniture was afraid of what misconduct it might have shown. Do you, as furniture, plan to force me to unbutton myself? Stand, and undo the buttons, one by one, with care. Quickly, gracefully, with no mistakes. The guests are being kept waiting, so change my clothes quickly. Yes. Undo them with care. Those buttons are each worth more than one of your eyeballs. If you make a mistake and break them, I'll sew your eyeballs in instead. God. Well, that's a bad ending. That's a really bad ending. I'm going to take one bite of this food. At least one. I'm so hungry. The entrance hall was bustling with a crowd of shadowy people, and it sparkled gold with the gold butterflies flying about. The gentlemen in suits and tuxedos and the ladies in dresses looked like they were having a great number of friendly chats. At a glance, it might have looked like a fabulous medieval ball. But they all had one thing in common, and that thing was exceedingly bizarre. Because all of them had goat heads. Was it a goat mask masquerade? Or did they really have goat heads? It probably couldn't be the latter, but in this bizarre world, I really didn't know which was true. Kinzo was amongst those goat nobles greeting them. Kinzo's greetings were more respectful than would have been expected, as though these were all honored guests. At that time, Genji's voice rang out through the hall. It was a voice calling for silence. That voice stopped the idle chatter, and everyone turned to face Genji. Tonight, we celebrate the appearance of our golden witch, who has achieved her revival, the Lady Beatrice. Everyone, please welcome her with your applause. When Genji began to applaud, it quickly spread through the guests and became a roaring ovation. Then, the Golden Witch appeared from the top of the large staircase. As she gracefully waved her hand, followed by a piece of furniture she was fond of, she slowly descended the staircase. The goat nobles offered unanimous words of celebration in some long-forgotten language, and those who were deeply intimate embraced, filled with joy at their reunion. As the witch offered greetings of reunion, the witch's furniture followed behind her the whole time. There was a chain around its neck. The other end was gripped in the witch's hand, like it was a trained dog. It wasn't there to restrain him. Those chains were a restraining device whose only purpose was to wound the furniture's dignity. He wasn't permitted to wear anything else on his body. One of the young women goats mixed in with the goat nobles, quietly removed her goat mask as the furniture passed in front of her, and she spoke with eyes that had no light in them. That face seemed to belong to a long-haired young girl. How pitiful. Ooh, Lady Burncastel, welcome. Do you like my furniture? That's a nice hobby. After saying only that, the witch called Burncastel once again put on her goat mask and was swallowed up by the shadows of the other tall goats. Sore loser. She's ticked off, isn't she? You're not wrong. The young women goats giggled, and the witch once again let out a high-pitched laugh. Thank you for gathering here for my sake. Why don't we enjoy to the fullest this banquet of the witch, where old friends have gathered from past and present, east and west. Come, we will eat all night, drink all night, slurp all night, and chew to bits all night as we enjoy ourselves. Look at the clock as it marks when the ending hour and the beginning hour melt together. Come, let us begin the banquet of the witch. When the witch announced the beginning of the banquet, a large clock pointed to 24, and the sound of a bell began to ring out. Come, now is the time! Open the golden door! All at once, the butterflies leafed in gold flew all around the inside of the room. Amidst the golden storm and the brilliant gold-colored light, the barrier between this world and another was cut open. Surrounded by the goats' delighted voices, the mansion of the human world and the mansion of those not human overlapped, and the members of the household who praised the resurrection of the Golden Witch scattered into gold butterflies, and poured out of the depths of hell. It was a golden tornado. A rondo of golden demons. Come, tonight we will put aside rank. Throw open the wine cellar, drop the snake's head into the liquor pot, throw cows and chickens into the furnace alive, drink and eat and sing and dance, sneer and kill and desecrate and degrade. Ah, Beatrice, take me to the Golden Land now! To the Golden Land! Oh, The goat nobles were suddenly crushing in around Kinzo, almost like they were kids demanding the signature of some famous movie star. There were only two differences. First, these were witches, not kids, and second, what these witches demanded was not a signature. The sea of goat nobles began to drown Kinzo. Only Kinzo's laughing voice echoed throughout the area. Ah. Awful. Awful! That's terrifying! It was a grand mixture of laugh and his death throes. And Kinzo became wine and meat and bread. An aroma if slurped, a rich taste if gnawed, and pleasant to tear to bits. The sound of his death throes lingered on sweetly, and if adorned with melted chocolate and golden argent, it would make a wonderful dessert. If you took the bones home, you could also use them in a soup, and the remains could even become toys for the children to play with. And they could also become splendid tools for fortune-telling that always brought misfortune. I don't like that. I did not like that at all. That entire scene was watched by the furniture. It was all fantastical. It was all demonic. Was the quaking of its supposedly paralyzed heart proof that it could still feel fear? At that time, its knees buckled, and the furniture's body fell down in the middle of the carpet. After all, the witch had kicked those knees from behind. Kneel and show your respect. Rub your forehead against the carpet and show how vulgar you are. Put your hands behind your back and swear that you will offer all your flesh and blood to me. The furniture let out a painful voice. Fear is the most basic emotion humans have. Was that emotion reviving his sense of self, which should have already been slain? So you are still far from suitable for my furniture. Very well. I will carefully finish you, making you into the kind of furniture I like, the kind fitting only for me. As you are now, I doubt you can offer more than entertainment for our guests. The goat nobles were surrounding the crouching furniture. It seemed their blazing, blood-red eyes couldn't hide their ecstasy at this new young food they'd been given. And from the ugly teeth that stuck out of countless mouths, saliva, or maybe the traces of meat and wine they had just eaten, dribbled down. As the furniture let out a wild scream, it retreated, still sitting on its backside. But the circle of goat nobles was closing in. I think this is literally the scariest image I've ever seen in my life. Then, the furniture looked at the witch's face. It had surrendered to the witch, so believing that the witch would show some compassion, it stared at her face in the end. But there was nothing but scorn on the witch's face, and she wasn't even facing the furniture anymore. The witch went off to greet an honored guest with whom she had crossed gazes. The goat nobles looked down upon the furniture. Actually, they had been waiting. Just like one must remove the cork in order to drink champagne, they had to wait for one thing before partaking of the offering served at this banquet. Of course, the furniture didn't know about this thing, but it came out of his mouth all by itself. Just like the unavoidable pop of a cork, it inevitably came out of his mouth. Ah! It was a scream. It was a sign that marked the beginning of the modest banquet at which he was to be served. Don't like that. This is particularly bad. This is particularly bad. I don't like that. Scariest combination of fucking things to show me. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Haunted. Horrifying. Really, really, really bad. Extremely uncomfortable. By now, the garden was one of both roses and gold. A gold-colored garden where gold butterflies, gold fairies, and gold lizards rampaged and flew about wildly.
Maria, quickly! Run! Quickly, 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 quickly!
Rosa grasped her gun and the blanket wrapped around the ingot, and ran at a speed Maria couldn't match, sometimes pausing to call out at Maria to run faster. So she saw it every time. Hey, can I see, characters? No. She saw the golden pursuers chasing them from the mansion. The mass of gold butterflies was chasing after them like a massive crawling hand, and strange-looking shadows with goat heads were chasing after them. There is no need for her to strain her eyes. because those blazing pupils told her what would happen if she was captured.
Mama, wait! Mama, wait! Ow!
Maria fell down. For just an instant, Rosa was ashamed by thoughts of abandoning her daughter and running away, and at the instant her feet touched the ground, she ran back. The goat head that had sprinted over to get the first bite grabbed hold of the back of Rosa's own child's hair and pulled.
Mama! No!
Oof. Hard to read. Rosa rammed into the goat head with her shoulder, spun, bashed the back of her elbow into the goat's jaw, and buried her knee into its protruding chest. And she thrust the barrel of the gun inside the goat head's mouth as it doubled over from the pain in its gut. Just try laying one finger on Maria in front of me. I'll show you just how lukewarm the hell you came from is. Damn! The blast from the Winchester's .45 caliber long Colt bullet exploded inside the goat head's throat, and its medulla oblongata was instantly pulverized. The goat head hadn't understood. It had thought women were like pre-opened wine bottles. It had thought that turning them upside down would immediately make their deep red contents come out.
Mama! Mama!
Maria, who had been released, hugged Rosa. But the pursuers were still coming. They could see the giant goat heads, who had given up pretending to be human, running towards them from across the rose bushes. Rosa spilled several extra bullets, which had been in the pocket of her coat, all over the place, and told Maria to pick them up.
Yes! Pick up! Pick up!
Maria, if Mama falls down, run. Go to the shore, and swim, and swim, and swim. There's nowhere for us to survive on this island.
No! I'll stay with Mama!
Rosa's gun roared 4 times, but even though 4 shots really did hit the massive approaching goats in the chest, they didn't even flinch. The goats ran with a violent vigor, as though they planned to crush Rosa and Maria with those massive bodies.
Put the bullet in! Quickly! Ooh!
Rosa grasped the blanket with the ingot in both hands, and she herself sprinted, pulling it along, without even an ounce of fear in those strange-looking giants. If it's to protect my daughter, I'll overcome even hell. I'll show you this golden dream! Ah! Rosa roared. The goat heads roared. That terribly heavy ingot, after picking up a fearsome centrifugal force and speed, slammed into the head of the goat head. Rosa pulled a fountain pen from her pocket, but she held it crooked. She placed it in her palm, in the gap between her middle finger and her ring finger, so that it stuck out when she made a fist, almost like a stinger was growing out of it. That stinger sliced into the left eye of the goat head as it fell over. Was the goat head's roar a scream? But Rosa's roar was different. She pulled back her fist and slammed it into the fountain pen that was still sticking into the goat head's eye. The pointed tip was gouged into the depths of its head. Oof. Jesus.
Mama, the bullet went in!
Good job! When Rosa grabbed the gun Maria had thrown, the giant finally tumbled on the ground with a thunderous crash. However, at the same time, I saw the goat head pursuers on the other side of the rose bushes increase in number. I've gained enough distance for now. I held onto the blanket wrapped around the ingot and the gun, and once again ran with Maria. Why am I running with the gun in my right hand and the gold in my left? Why don't I let go with one hand and grasp Maria's hand? I can't let go of the gun that protects my body. I can't let go of the gold that protects my future. But even so, I've let go of the hand of my daughter, the one who is my future. Run, run, run. She got out of the rose garden and began to run down a staircase through a grove of trees. But Rosa knew. This path through the grove turned and twisted many times, and only seemed to be long. She tore straight through it. She had played here often since her childhood years. So she knew. To the beach, to the beach, to the sea, to the sea, to the sea. And after reaching the sea, nothing to do but swim, swim, and if Maria can't swim, I'll carry her as I swim. There's nothing but death on this island.
Yeah! Mama?
As she raced down the stairs, she took a bad step. A violent pain ran up her left ankle, and her mind went completely blank. Rosa fell down several stairs, shocked by her ankle, which was bent at an odd angle. And the blanket with the ingot wasn't there. She had let go of it the instant she fell, and it had disappeared somewhere into the darkness. Only the gun was left. Tremors in the earth were getting closer. It was only a matter of time before the goat heads flooded in. She didn't want to imagine how many there would be, or how strange they would look. The lightly dancing gold pursuers arrived. The gold butterflies surrounded Rosa and Maria, waving and clamoring as though saying, "The prize is here! The prize is here!" Rosa couldn't even try to get up. The violent pain from her broken ankle was so great that she couldn't ignore it, even in her last moments. What am I doing? I had the gold, which would have been worth several million yen. I might have been able to start over with that. And yet I fell, lost it, and now my own life is in danger. And Maria's too? What has my life been? I was born into an incomprehensible family, with irritating older siblings since the day I was born. What did I do? No matter what I did or didn't do, I was always in trouble and bullied and made fun of. What has my life been? Mama! Mama! The roar inside Rosa's heart shriveled away and disappeared. It disappeared when she heard Maria's crying voice as she sobbed and clung to Rosa. Maria? Mama remembered something she's got to do. Please go on ahead. No! I want to stay with Mama! I don't want Mama to die! Maria, even though I'm such a bad mama, you still say you want to stay with me? Yeah! I want to stay with you! Want to stay with Mama! I made it look like I was putting you first, but I was always putting you off. I went to your athletic meet, I went to Parents' Day, but I was always thinking about how I appeared to the world, and you were never in my eyes. Are you saying that you want to stay with that kind of mother, even though I've been such a bad mother? Hey, Mama! Did you know? You're my only mama in this world. There's no good mama or bad mama. There's just one mama. So I don't need any other mama in this world. And I want to be your one and only Maria. The Maria you want to spoil when you're in a good mood, and the Maria who's a nuisance and you don't want to be around, aren't different people. There's only one Maria. So the scary mama and the nice mama are the same. To me, they're my one and only mama. I was such an idiot. I didn't need gold. If only I had just pulled you by the hand. I was such a stupid mama. The shadows of the goats covered the sky even more thoroughly than the trees of the forest. Their roars blotted out the world with fear. Rosa, still hugging Maria, readied her gun with one hand. Maria, let's go together. I'll never leave you. Let's always stay together so that Mama never gets lost again. Yeah! We'll be able to see each other soon. We'll be together forever. We'll be able to see each other in the Golden Land. And then we'll play together. Play with the wolves and sheep puzzle. Mama hasn't solved more than one of the puzzles, but I've solved them all. So I'll be the riddle giver. She had bought it as a birthday present, and then hadn't played with it with Maria, after that first night. Yes, we'll play together. I promise. Mama! Those eyes, sparkling like red-hot lava, looked just like a group of fireflies. They danced, closed in, and attacked. Come on!
Let whoever wants to eat the bullet Maria chambered for me step forward. Ah! Ah!
When the seagulls cried, there were no survivors. Ah! Nightmare. 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 Oh, I don't like that biting image. Oh, that's so bad. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh. Horror. Oh god. Yay! So that's how episode 2 ends. Nightmare. Horror. Nightmare horror. Awful. Terrible. Really bad. Terrible. Hate that. Dislike. Well, time for the tea party. Purgatorio. Rosa awoke from her doze. It must have been a very deep sleep. Her mind was hazy, and she wasn't thinking clearly. You know what I'll do? Oh. Oh god, everyone's gone. Holy shit. Oh my god, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Kinzo, missing. He finally reached the golden land he so desired to see. However, since a fool was unwilling to accept it, the magic was wasted once again. Even so, he was probably happy. After all, he managed to be reunited with the Golden Witch, if only for a brief time. Afterwards, he was crushed to bits and eaten by demons and went to hell. Damn. Missing. Selfless furniture seeks nothing but repose in the Golden Land. However, since a fool obstinately rejects the Golden Land, it seems his time of repose is unlikely to come soon. Afterwards, he was torn to pieces and eaten by demons and went to hell. In the Golden Land, she finally found a treasure more precious than gold. However, it only lasted for a brief time. Because of a fool, she was forced to once again lose what she had finally found. Afterwards, she was chewed to a pulp by demons and went to hell. Missing. In the Golden Land, she learned that her mother still truly loved her. At least for now, she is satisfied. Damn. Damn. Haha, horror. Nightmare. Oh, you've redeemed fire and ice? You want me to suffer? Do you... Here's a pro tip. Do you want me to do fire and ice and also water so it's infinitely worse? Do you want this? Do you want this for me, Cap? Do you want me to die? Have you been saving up since the beginning of stream to do this? What can you say except you're evil? Alright. I'll do fire and ice and water. Okay. So I have here a cinnamon Altoid and a wintergreen Altoid. I'm going to put both in my mouth at once, and I'm going to swish them with water, and you will hear the live reaction of this. Okay. Cool. Sweet. Awesome. Oh. It's bad. Curiously strong mints indeed. Oh. My other rule is that I can't just chew them, because it would be over already. Now I will try to read like this. It must have been a very deep sleep. Her mind was hazy, and she wasn't thinking clearly.
Where is this? It felt like some mansion, but it didn't seem to be the ChRoMA mansion.
She could see a room that looked like a parlor, and there was some tea that had been prepared. It had probably been made for her. Around the room, some glitter that looked like gold leaf drifted about, making the scene look quite fantastical. When she eventually realized that they were gold butterflies, it further strengthened that impression. There was someone across from her. A woman. A lady. It was the portrait's witch. She seemed to be having a one-sided conversation. She was probably talking to Rosa, but Rosa, whose mind was clouded up by a deep fog, didn't have a clue what was being said. Choose whatever you please. If there is anything you want, I'll give it all to you. You can think of it as a reward for your good luck, or else as a proper compensation for how you've answered to my demands. Oh no, it broke, oh bro, oh god, it broke, oh no, okay. It may have been a truly trivial matter from your perspective. However, the deal was important enough to me to be deserving of this reward. What is she talking about? I don't know. It's just that I am very much a witch. Perhaps you'd best ask for something only a witch can give you. What a rare chance this is. Oh. The Altoid, it broke, and then there was pain. They're gone now. What a rare chance this is, to actually receive the favor of Beatrice the Golden, me. Rosa started to feel the blood flowing through her body. Her movements were still sluggish, and she couldn't even voice the words she was thinking. I am commonly called the Golden Witch. Bestowing a mountain of gold like the one I gave Kinzo is trivial to me. After all, you can measure all the pleasures of the human world with money. Therefore, gold is no more or less than the manifestation of the human world's pleasures. Can you imagine it? A mountain of gold that you couldn't use up as long as you lived. As the witch blew on her pipe, multicolored smoke enshrouded their surroundings. As she did this, the inside of the parlor was suddenly filled with stacks of gold ingots. It looked like a shining gold-colored wall. If each ingot was worth several 10 million yen, how much would all of this be worth? It seemed sinful to even think of such a number. However, the human world is difficult. I know there are some things that cannot be settled no matter how high into the sky you pile up gold. I know there are cracks that cannot be filled. I won't make light of that, which is why this is a gift that only a witch such as I can give. Why don't I fill those cracks in for you? Yes, how about this? It's something only I can give. You should be very happy. No need to thank me out loud. I can tell right away. It's written on your face and in the corners of your heart. Rosa felt a touch of discomfort at this witch, who kept on talking even though Rosa hadn't uttered a single word. But since she still couldn't manage to speak, and was so helpless that it was difficult to even move a finger, she couldn't do anything but listen. How far must the deep wounds in your heart recede before they can be healed? This is deep, quite deep indeed. Sometimes wounds close up while a fragment of foreign matter remains inside. Even when such wounds appear to have healed, they continue to throb for all eternity. Sometimes you have to open the wound once more in order to heal it completely. As the witch spoke, she stared deep into Rosa's eyes. What in the world was she peering at? Rosa felt uncomfortable, but she couldn't look away. So, your pain was already fated by the time of your birth. How heartbreaking. You don't have to say it. I understand. I understand. Rosa was gradually being sucked into the witch's eyes. Then, the world grew dark, spinning round and round as she was sucked in. Rosa. Rosa. Why are you such an idiot? Oh. Okay, I guess that's Kraus. Oh, that's Kraus Nissan's voice. Kraus Nissan is a real adult, so he's very smart. So he hated the stupid kid Rosa. He was a very scary person. I was often hit, and my toys were taken from me and broken. I was apparently being punished for something bad I'd done, but I never really understood what it was, or why I was being punished. I was always punished suddenly, and then later told what the punishment was for, in a forced manner, but it was always something I didn't remember doing. So I really hated Kraus Nissan. Rosa, Rosa, why are you such an idiot? Oh, that's Eva Nissan's voice. Eva Nissan is a real adult, so she's very smart. So she hated the stupid kid Rosa. This is really upsetting. She was always a very sly person, and she often lied to me, tricked me, bullied me all the time. Apparently I was stupid, and she said it was only natural for stupid people to be swindled by those smarter than them. So I wanted to become a wise person like Eva Nissan, and listen to what she said, but when I obeyed her, for some reason, someone always got really mad at me. So I really hated Eva Nissan. This is so fucking upsetting. No wonder she beats her fucking child. Oh my god. Rosa, Rosa, why are you such an idiot? Oh, that's Rudolph Nissan's voice. Rudolph Nissan really knows how to get things done. So he hated the stupid kid Rosa. When Kraus Nissan was around, he would be friendly with Kraus Nissan. When Eva Nissan was around, he would be friendly with Eva Nissan. And when Kraus Nissan wasn't around, he would be violent like Kraus Nissan. And when Eva Nissan wasn't around, he would play dirty like Eva Nissan. And even though he was also bullied most of the time, when Kraus Nissan and Eva Nissan weren't around, he gave me 2 people's worth of bullying. So I really hated Rudolph Nissan. Oh, but these were my memories from when I was a kid. It's common for unfair things to happen between kids. And you mustn't hold on to grudges for such things forever. With time, those memories get buried away, and forgetting them bit by bit is supposed to be part of growing up and becoming an adult. No, you get therapy! So becoming an adult is the same as separating yourself from all those memories. No, you go get therapy. And because of that, no matter how much time passed, Rosa couldn't become an adult. Even though she had been blessed with a daughter called Maria and was called a mother, she didn't at all feel like she had become an adult. The witch pitied her for that, and she smiled, saying that she could heal that pain herself. How can I heal you? It's possible, but not easy. I might rewind time, and giving you a world where you have no older siblings. But that way, your memories of being hurt by your older siblings wouldn't remain. And in that sense, while you might call it a gift, you wouldn't be able to accept it. A person is only satisfied when their starvation is healed. But if you make it so they never starved in the first place, none of them will thank you. Just like how there are no young people who give thanks for their daily gluttony. Understand? I think she's telling me something really complicated. In short, even if she makes it so I never had older siblings, that wouldn't remove my pain. Maybe that's what she's saying. Strictly speaking, that's not quite right. Healing isn't the same thing as removing pain. It's the pleasure we earn as compensation for withstanding pain. Therefore, removing the pain isn't healing. To know the joy of healing, you have to know the pain. Which means, you must know joy in order to compensate you for your pain. You should be proud of your past sufferings. After all, they are what make it possible for you to know pleasure that those without pain will never experience. To those who experience this pleasure, cannot help but pass on the same joy to others. When the witch snapped her fingers, even though the room was still filled with a mountain of gold and had already lost all semblance of reality, a fabulous tablecloth appeared on top of the table, and a wonderful meal was laid out, almost as though it was the opening of a banquet in a castle from some fairy tale. For an instant, Rosa truly did feel a pleasurable surprise at how fabulous it was, but at the same time, she felt a bit of an anticlimax. After all, she didn't think being bullied by her siblings could be wiped away by just one meal, no matter how delicious. Food is the source of many human pleasures. You simply must eat like a pig as long as you live. If one meal isn't enough, then have as many as you want. Until the pain of your heart is healed, why not continue this gourmet banquet? Begin it, furniture. As the witch clapped twice, there were suddenly 2 goat-head servants there, and they began to prepare the meal. From the beautiful dishes adorning the table, they efficiently took some food and began to pile it up on Rosa's plate. It really did look delicious, but Rosa's body still felt as heavy as lead, and there was no way she'd be able to eat. Maybe they also understood that. The goat-head servants tied a napkin around Rosa's collar, and gallantly brought a glass of before-dinner alcohol to her mouth, tilting it for her. She remembered an old servant who had once carried rice porridge to her mouth when she was laid up with a high fever. She couldn't drink it well, and it dripped down from her mouth, but she felt the fragrant sweetness spread throughout her mouth. It's a sweet aperitif of noble-wrought, German-made wine. A wine cocktail of white wine mixed with a crimson golden drop. If I had to give it a name, I'd call it a bloody crouse. Soaked with just a golden drop of your brother's blood that was squeezed out of a compressor. Rosa coughed violently, and the bright red that stained her face made it look as though she had coughed up blood. You know a lot about black tea, so you should know what it means, right? Golden drop refers to the last drop in a drink. It is called the most precious drop in black tea. So a golden drop of blood is the same. The last and most precious drop of blood squeezed out of a human. We squeeze it using that. Nightmare. As the witch snapped her fingers, a bright red veil that had been set up before something large was removed. The solemn and massive machine what there was just like a coffin for a large-sized person, but with many large bulb-like things stuck to it, and it looked like a sinister torture device. By its unnerving shape, she could tell that with a human strength, it could be used to tighten and compress something. And it seemed that there was still some squeezed dregs remaining, because of the bright red remains that stained it. But you can't take more than one golden drop at once. No matter what kind of human you take it from, you can't get more than one drop. But I am a witch. Reviving a person is easy for me. When the witch snapped her fingers, the human compressor suddenly began to shake. No, she could also hear a groan. It looked almost as though someone sleeping in that man-sized coffin had woken up and was now struggling to get out. But that was wrong. What was inside definitely had been squeezed dregs. Using her magic, the witch had once again revived the squeezed dregs to how they had been before they were squeezed. 3 goat-head servants with muscular physiques approached the compressor and forcefully started tightening the large bowl. As they did, an unearthly moan came from inside the coffin. Rosa thought she knew the owner of that voice. Oh man. Yeah, this is kind of really bad. It is fitting for cooking to be done in the kitchen. Enough, stand back. Do you understand how precious a golden drop is? To have it stained this crimson requires that several dozen people's worth be squeezed. The witch definitely said that only one golden drop could be taken from a single human. And yet she had dozens of people worth of golden drops from a single human. Only a witch could do this. The Golden Witch Beatrice could kill a single human endlessly. In other words, before Beatrice, even death did not mean freedom. Do you need me to put it a different way? Have you forgotten the day this man hit you, when you swallowed the blood that ran into your mouth? That's right. Remember that taste. Remember the taste of the tears that you spilled until you were dry. I believe this aperitif will be sufficient to heal that regrettable memory. Yeah, here's the goat man. Once again, the goat head servants tilted a deep red glass against her mouth. Rosa tried resisting by closing her lips, but the deep red liquid was relentlessly poured into her mouth, which hung open with shock, and the inside of her mouth was filled with a ghastly sweetness. It definitely was a fragrant sweetness. The living blood of her brother, who had given her such hateful thoughts and made her soak her pillow so many times, had been collected from his death, repeated dozens of times. How could the crimson-stained wine not be sweet? But Rosa tried to spit it out. Because of that, the deep red wine that spilled out of Rosa's mouth looked just like a bloodstain. Now that she knew that this ghastly substance wasn't a simple aperitif, Rosa couldn't help but feel uncomfortable about what would happen if this banquet continued. That is a double-tongued salad made from vegetables in season. On your 9th birthday, you wish that you'd someday get to chew this to bits. This salad made from Ava's tongue. When Rosa heard the true nature of the pink-colored meat piled up in the salad, she had a sudden impulse to vomit her guts out. Furthermore, the goat servant stuck a fork in it and carried it to Rosa's mouth. How does your double-tongued sister taste? It must be quite soft and enchanting, right? It probably would be quite sweet, soft, and enchanting in her mouth. After all, Ava's lies were always sweet, and young Rosa had always listened to them. And you might say the simulating pepper seasoning expressed the truth behind those lies well. As the tongue salad that kept being pushed into Rosa's mouth was covered with saliva, she spat it out. But the goat head servants carefully returned it to the plate and carried it to Rosa's mouth over and over again. It goes without saying, but I made this salad liberally using 5 of Ava's tongues. You can't get more than 1 tongue out of a person, but I can get them over and over. As Rosa's tears dripped down, she resisted frantically. However, the only way she could resist was by refusing to swallow. Even if she didn't swallow it, the taste of the French dressing increasingly permeated Rosa's mouth. Does it not please you? There's lots more. Sea bass pie wrapped in the skin of Rudolph's face, soup with boiled brains, liver pate, and look forward to dessert. It's not just your siblings, see? I have lavishly assembled all of those whom you have trusted, and yet by whom you were betrayed. Why don't we continue this banquet for all eternity, until your heart is satisfied? For all eternity. You're happy, right, ChRoMA Rosa? Don't pretend you hate it, cause I know that you're actually happy, okay? If you want to laugh, then do so. And if you won't feel better until you've heard a raw performance of your annoying older sibling's screams, I'll let you hear them as much as you like. Fear not, your reluctance doesn't trouble me. That's just your personality, right? On the inside, you're actually so happy that your skin is crawling all over. And yet on the outside, you're merely pretending that all of this causes you pain, yes? It's all right. Here, there's no need to worry about honor or your public image or anything. So laugh as much as you want and chew it to bits. Isn't this the best banquet, ChRoMA Rosa? Please, stop. Oh, I'm sorry. I wanted to leave dessert as a surprise, but let me reveal it now anyways. Maybe that will be enough incentive for you to eat up the full course. Your dessert is that beloved daughter that you had to keep pretending to love. Oven-baked Maria with apples. Doesn't that sound yummy? Once you eat this, you will be released from everything. Freedom, you see, freedom. Finally, Rosa will gain freedom as an individual person. Aren't you happy? You should be happy. Drool is hanging from your mouth. Just try looking in a mirror. Suddenly, a muscular goat cook was holding Maria under his arm, and Maria gazed at Rosa with a face that was only slightly sad.
Mama, was I a burden? You weren't a burden. Ugh.
As Rosa spat out the food that was continually being carried to her mouth, as she was covered with filth and saliva and blood, she resisted filthily and screamed.
If you think I'm a burden, I don't mind if you eat me. After all, I'm always doing horrible things to you. Even when you bring a man over, I can't stay quiet. Even when you spend the night out with a man, I get lonely and unruly and make a mess of my room. When I go to search by myself, I get lost, the police pick me up, and then you're shamed. When you don't come home for several days and I cry and have to be consoled by the neighbors, you're shamed. Because I'm like this, I'm a burden to Mama. Sorry for being born. So I'll become delicious oven-baked apples for Mama's sake. And then, maybe Mama will be happy I exist for the first time. Maybe she'll eat me and think I'm delicious. Isn't it delicious? Be choked up with tears of gratitude. Your daughter is saying this much for you, right? Oven-baked apples. And your beloved daughter make for the best dessert. You've managed to raise such delicious ingredients. Aren't you the best mother, ChRoMA Rosa?
Bad, awful.
Mama, thanks for everything. Bye-bye. Wait, Maria, that's wrong. Stop it already, no! I didn't want something like this. Please stop, please forgive me. No, stop it already, don't put it in my, no.
Have you been satisfied with my hospitality? Then I'll have you accept it, that I am a witch. Proclaim it. ChRoMA Rosa accepts that Beatrice is a witch.
I accept it. ChRoMA Rosa accepts that Beatrice is a witch. So give Maria back. Release me.
Fine, I finally made you acknowledge it. That crafty battler has already surrendered, and I made Rosa, the fool who denied me even after being invited to the Golden Land, accept it. Perfect. It's perfect! I've accomplished my perfect victory. Come, bring Maria. Prepare a delicious oven roast for Rosa.
No! Maria!
Looks delicious. Slice up your cow tits and make me a sandwich.
What?
That voice! Oof! An arm grabbed the back of the witch's head and smashed her face into the table. As it did, the witch broke to pieces, turned into a cloud of gold butterflies, and reformed into her body a short distance away. Battler! You bastard! I thought you'd surrendered so far that even your soul was furniture. Me too. But while I was listening to that gross recipe, I started to get a little hungry. Now I feel like eating a whole roast witch! And Maria, it's 10 years too early for you to talk about having someone eat you up. But in 10... Nope! Skipping it! Ooh! No! Battler-kun! Sorry to keep you waiting, Aunt Rosa. I'd forgotten. This is a one-on-one fight between me and this woman. It's totally wrong for me to give in. Thanks to you hanging in there, I've gotten my will to fight back. This person, he gave up down to the depths of his soul and surrendered to me, didn't he? I see. He doesn't know when to give up. Just what I'd want. Just what I'd expect from Hiroshima Kinzo's grandchild. So the chick of a phoenix is a phoenix after all. How dashing, how amusing. I wouldn't have it any other way. I wouldn't have you any other way, Battler. Try to deny me. I'll completely and thoroughly smash you to bits. Let me make you surrender over and over again. I'll teach you, one who has licked my shoes, the taste of defeat over and over again. No problem. I'll teach you that I, ChRoMA Battler, am a man who can stand back up even after crawling through the mud. I've never been invincible in a fight. I've lost loads of times. But I'll definitely crawl through the mud and stand up again. And then I'll finish this. In a man's fight, you don't lose until you accept defeat, no matter how much you get beat up. Don't think I'm out just because you took a shot at me. I'll give you a good show, Beatrice. I'll accept your challenge, ChRoMA Battler. Furniture, begin preparations for the next game. While we're waiting, why don't you tell me all about it? There are a lot of closed rooms in this game. Using red, I've smashed to bits most of the methods by which you tried to talk yourself out of them. What other evasive quibbles will you show me now? The lock to the chapel, the lock to Jessica's room, the lock to the servant room, the lock to Natsuhi's room, the lock to the parlor. Use your bizarre specialty. Those delusions, rantings, daydreams, and bluffs, all slanted with ridiculous, incredible turns of events, and show how you can thoroughly deny me. Nah, it's useless. It's all useless! Yeah, that's just Umineko. That's just what Umineko is all about. It's like, it's extremely fucked up. Literally the most fucked up thing you will ever see. And then it's like, oh right, this is still just a chess game. It's just fucked up chess. Oh. I didn't expect vocals. Okay. Yay! Question marks. God. Oh my god. Oh my god. How fucked up is this game? Oh my god. Jesus. I gotta say, that fucking bite image is just so haunted. So horrifically haunted. I hate it a lot. It makes me extremely uncomfortable. Really does give you the image of being bitten to death. You know? Kind of terrible. Mouth.jpg. Well then, did you find that game enjoyable? When a game's that one-sided, goes beyond riveting and becomes boring. My, but you're as harsh as always. Considering how proud I was to have created a development so impactful that it might satisfy even the boredom-hating Lady Bunn Castell, this response is quite harsh. Well, I'll admit it was impactful. However, it was horrible as a fair game. Unless you make the conditions a bit more even. Are you saying there's no way to win? Not even for Lady Bunn Castell? I wonder what you mean by that, Beato. There's no need to try and fool me. I already know that you're no bystander. Were you planning on hiding it? You're an outrageous person to come into someone else's territory from such a great distance to work against them. You came to watch from the sidelines and probably to push strongly for my defeat. I've guessed right, haven't I? And if so? Truly amusing. That I should be granted a chance to fight against Lady Bunn Castell, the strongest of witches, who defeated Lady Lamba Delta, is truly a pleasure. Yes, I'm also pleased. I came all this way because I really wanted to see you, brimming with confidence, fall apart and lose. What an honest person. Even so, it would be a shame if the contest between me and the great Lady Bunn Castell was resolved without at least one observer. You called her here, didn't you? That kid. Fuck yeah, look at her! She's so cool! I found you! I finally found you, Bunn Castell! How are you, Lambda? Looks like you've got lots of spare time, too. I wonder if it's fate that the pair who hates boredom should run into each other again. Stupid kid! Can't you see? You've only won against me because of a little luck and a problem of compatibility. After that, you became such a brag, and now you're even picking a fight with Beatrice? Shouldn't you learn your place? Beatrice is strong, and she's even more brutal than I am. Just a bit. And, by the way, don't go shortening people's name without their permission. You're dumb too, Beato. If this kid's in your game... God, no, wrong one. The other one. You're dumb too, Beato. If this kid's in your game, she'll make a mess of everything. I certainly didn't just bring Lady Lamba Delta here to watch from the sidelines. After informing me that you were betting against me, she said that she would bet against you. You're still holding a grudge, aren't you? Because I'm the strongest witch in the universe. But I lost to you, which means I'm not the strongest. So any enemy of yours is my ally. And there you have it. With the great Lady Bunn Castell as our opponent, this may not even count as a handicap, but it should make for good entertainment. Do as you like. Now that I've been exposed, allow me to get serious. That would be well. Going easy has never been written in my dictionary. I wonder what happens if I do this. Holy shit, I didn't think I'd be able to do this! Ah! Oh my god, look at them! Holy shit! Beatrice, the Endless Witch, who has lived for 1,000 years. She is known for being exceptionally cruel, even among witches. She loves bullying the weak and is capable of using trial and error endlessly to find the cruelest fate they can possibly be given. And she toys with her victims even further by piling on one after another, This witch is extremely powerful, but word has it that she sometimes becomes obsessed with creating certain patterns, so her means end up becoming her goals. Fun. Oh my god, look at her! Bunn Castell, the Witch of Miracles, who has lived for 1,000 years. Her vast power is capable of creating all kinds of miracles, but her heart is broken a bit as a result. Back when she was a human, Lambda Delta once imprisoned her within a cruel fate, toying with her the whole time. As a result, it seems she's unable to abandon others who are caught within a similar fate. Theoretically, she's a witch with the greatest powers, but in practice, this is no more realistic than folding a piece of paper 100 times so that it reaches the moon. Yet, she did fold it 100 times. Lambda Delta, the Witch of Certainty, who has lived for 1,000 years. She embodies the idea that hard workers are rewarded, and is revered even by humans. Though she is a witch, she does not stray far from the concept of humans. For that reason, her power as one worshipped by humans is incalculable. However, she is fickle about whose efforts she chooses to reward, and in many cases, she bestows her favor upon those who entertain her the most. Her immense, swift, and terrifying power can make any witch surrender in an instant. However, she is often reckless, and Bunn Castell was able to take full advantage of that. Do you like how big this character screen is for this one? It's like, I wonder how many motherfuckers are gonna be here. I love it. She's so cute. That would be well. Going easy has never been written in my dictionary. Lady Lambda Delta, let us enjoy our precious time together.
Yeah, I'll be counting on you, Lady Beatrice. I've been betrayed pretty bad by her, too. Until the two of us smash her up and pay her back double, I won't be able to rest.
I'll be counting on you, Lambda. And you, Beato. No matter what we fight over, this will be a very significant battle for us all.
That's right! Of course, I don't plan on losing, but we've got a goal. Beyond who wins and who loses.
After all, we hate boredom. The three witches giggled, cackled, and guffawed. That's right. I should thank you, Beato. It looks like I'll finally be able to escape my boredom. Do your best to entertain me, along with Lambda Delta.
Leave it to me. If we're decided, Beato, then let's start a strategy meeting right now. I know all of this girl's weak points, and I'll teach you all of them.
And yet, Lady Lambda Delta, you were defeated by her.
I won't tell you. Soon.
She's never boring, that Lady Lambda Delta. Isn't she? Take care of her. She gets lonely easily. I see. So she's one of those that are popular these days. As expected from Lady Lambda Delta. Quite cutting edge. Go already. That kid's waiting for you to chase after her. Then, if you'll excuse me, see you next game! I'm sorry. That troublesome one came, but don't mind it. More importantly, things sure got ugly. I thought I experienced a very tragic end in Lambda's game, but this one is exceptionally horrible. I can't say I don't understand why you're hugging your knees and closing up your heart. If you meet a fate like that a few more times, it'll take a lot less than 100 years to kill your heart. Beato saw through me, so I'll confess. You are now just like I was in the past, when I was imprisoned inside Lambda's world, shut inside a labyrinth of cruel fate, tormented by a witch, in a manner of speaking. I am a witch who was born from there, so maybe I'm like an older sister to you. So I decided that I'd lend you my power. However, even compared to my fate, yours is truly brutal. Not only do I sympathize with you, I'm almost brought to tears by your tragic fate. But please, don't lose heart. Please don't submit to Beato, no matter what. Certainly, that child's game is quite unfair. I've only been allowed a glimpse of the game board. But the unfair and clever devices set up on the stage are so disgusting that I imagine they far surpass those on Lambda Delta's game board. And what's even more frightening is that when that kid moves a piece, she doesn't always make the best possible move. This is where she's very different from Lambda. Lambda always uses an overpowering number of pieces to make the best possible move in order to win. But Beato sometimes intentionally goes easy on her opponent when she moves her pieces. Since, when we're in trouble, we try to seek out our opponent's strategy by looking at their moves. This creates a very formidable amount of noise in our information. That might cause a troublesome amount of disorder. However, as in chess, though a player might be able to create some noise for their opponent with a useless move, they'll still miss out on the more valuable move they avoided. In other words, it's not like your opportunities to take advantage of this are zero. Although you may not be able to believe it, that analogy holds true for this game as well. Even though those developments looked so overpowering, there actually was a weak point. A weak point that almost looks like she wanted you to take advantage of it. Though, I don't know if it's a trap or if she's teasing us. Anyway, don't surrender. Don't stop thinking. Don't deny any possibility. As long as you continue to hold the will to fight, Beato will not win. What's the most important element in defense during a witch's battle? Rather than trying to win, try not to lose. If accepting her means your defeat, then you definitely mustn't accept her. Making you accept witches. There is no longer any doubt that this is one of Beatrice's victory conditions. Now that I have announced that I'm your ally, I, too, will make as great an effort as possible to lend you my power. Make an effort yourself as well. If you're still hugging your knees, quickly stand back up. In times like this, what did I used to say again? Go for it. Yay. Nipa! It's so embarrassing doing this. I've done this much for you. I've done this much for you, so quickly stand back up. Ah, there you are. I wonder where Bunn shrank off to. Could she be any more lame? Even so, just like usual, the pieces Bunn chooses are pretty shabby. It's the same with chess, right? If all of your pieces were pawns, you'd have zero chance to win, right? If all of your pieces were rooks and bishops, you definitely wouldn't lose. Well, last time, right when I felt just a little pity and said she could start with her pieces anywhere she wanted, that idiot Bunn, without taking notice of my compassion, started with all of her pawns on my side of the board. What's up with that? That wasn't a loss or anything. Just remembering it makes me queasy. Because of that, I won't be able to rest until I see Bunn's speechless face. And since you, Bunn's piece, fucked up so bad, I'm feeling just great. Plus, she may not look it, but that girl really hates to lose. So I'll bet she's off somewhere grinding her teeth and crying her eyes out right now. How totally lame. Come on, laugh with me. Oh!
Wait a sec. Are you still hugging your knees? You're already like this just because Beato got a little serious? Could you be any more pathetic? You're so pathetic, I'll help you just a little bit. I, the great Lady Lambidelta, the Witch of Certainty, and the strongest in the universe, will bring your hopelessly low chances of winning just a little bit closer to certainty. You should thank me. You know, Beatrice may really be a cruel and powerful witch, but she's no match for me. Why? Because she's soft. Though she'll set up the board in a way that'll let her win with just a few more moves, she'll intentionally avoid cornering you. She'll do things like take worthless pieces and place excess pieces on the board to make things more one-sided. Simply put, she's got the bad habit of playing around as soon as she thinks she's won. Almost all of the various attacks that hurt you and burn look like utter waste and overkill to me. In other words, she's got a weakness, and you've got a chance. See? She isn't an opponent to be afraid of, right? She sometimes mistakes her means for her ends, and she has too much dark fun. Sometimes that even ends up creating and exposing her own weak points. For a super powerful witch like me, it's hard to understand why she's able to act so tough, why she lowers her own chances of winning. But, well, because of that, a witch like Bunn, who likes to thoroughly read her opponent, has a really bad affinity with her, because reading her doesn't work. Maybe it's really easy for Bunn to read and handle a straightforward and honest type like me, annoyingly enough. Well, still, as a super firepower type like me can flat out beat a lightweight, wide-range barrage type like Beatrice. So it's kinda like rock, paper, scissors. If I'm paper, Beato's a rock, which means Bunn is scissors. Well, maybe that doesn't matter. Even though my paper loses to Bunn's scissors, if I was a sheet of super paper, which is way more awesome than normal paper, I could beat even scissors, right? Basically, I, Lambidelta, am super paper. God. It looks like you.
Okay, I'm back. Okay. What's the last sentence you remember seeing? Oh God. What was the last sentence you saw? God damn it. Did you hear about the rock, paper, scissors? We got super paper. Ho 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 ho. Super paper Mario, yeah. Okay, then I will continue reading from here.
It looks like you've regained a bit of your color. That Beato, she's having fun torturing some piece called Rosa. At a glance, you'd think she has really nasty tastes, right? Wrong. She's just killing time, hoping that you'll stand back up and return. It's a move to fire up your righteous indignation by intentionally doing something detestable. Aw man, I hate kids like that. Anyway, I'll head on back. Don't tell anyone about me helping you out, just a little bit. I mean, it's not like I helped you because I wanted to save you, okay? I, the strongest witch in the universe, had my throne stolen away when I lost to Bunn. So I've got to take that throne back from her. But if she loses to Beato here, then it's Beato who'll get the position of strongest next, right?
Right, refreshing. If you see nothing. 'Cause I don't know. It says that I'm back up. Yeah. Okay.
So I've got to take that throne back from her. But if she loses to Beato here, then it's Beato who will get the position of strongest next, right? Well, it's not like I'm complaining. It'd be easier to steal the throne back from Beato, but then I wouldn't be satisfied, you see? I will defeat Bunn, and I'll take back my position as the strongest. It's not like I'm really helping you, okay? I won't forgive you if you make Bunn cry.
Can you believe how close I was? Can you believe this shit? I was like 3 lines from free. Uncle Mion. Incredible. Addition of a new game board. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, new image? Oh, new image. New image, guys. We did it. We definitely we were literally 1 step away from retirement, and then they just killed us like this. Og, I love the chromas on this screen. Okay. Okay. Anyways. So how was it? How did you enjoy the ending of... The ending? Oh, fun. That was fucked. Yeah, it's pretty accurate. Oh man, those teeth are going to bother me forever. Oh god. Well, anyways. God, those fucking teeth. Oh, that was bad. God. Anyways. Well, let's see. So I now no, don't judge me here. Don't judge me. Okay, but this is the raid message. Oh man. Oh man. Do not judge me. Don't judge me. I'm going to make double sure before I do anything. I'm gonna make double sure before I do something silly and make myself look like a goof. I'm just double checking. No putting silly. I just hate gently how fucking Twitter is being at the moment. Hello? 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 What? Now I'm just confused. Well, instead of doing what I was going to do, because now I feel really, really silly about it, and so I won't do it. But, I'll do something that's significantly less silly and will embarrass me immensely less. So, nope. Nope. No, nope, 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 nope. No, 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 no. Nope, 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 nope. We're gonna raid Fishy. We're gonna raid Fishy because I am incredibly at the moment. So we're gonna raid Fishy. The fucking raid message is yeah, that's the raid message. Okay. Alright. Goodbye, friends. Say hello to Fishy. Thanks for coming.